All right. Welcome. A few people we got on right now. My name is Manny. I got Cruz right now. We're waiting for the other couple to hop in just a minute. And we're going to be covering the vice presidential debate. Kamala Harris and Vice President Michael Pence. Doesn't start for a while, so we got some other stuff we're going to chit-chat about. Some stuff about yesterday. It was quite a day yesterday. And I'll see whatever else pops up. Cruz, what do you got going on today?
Just another busy day in the life of a Valleyites. It seems that traffic has basically, I guess, turned 100% on because out there getting around in Hidalgo County is pretty difficult nowadays with all the traffic. So I think we're back to normal.
Yeah, that's right, Ray. Did they start that construction they were going to do on that spur, whatever it's going on over there to Edinburgh?
Yes, they have. As a matter of fact, they closed off the Sugar Road exit. That's going to be closed for 2 years, if I remember the notice. 2 years. So folks getting off or wanting to get off on Sugar Road, no can do anymore. They've closed off a couple of the lanes on 281 at the interchange on the bottom, off the expressway. So yes, construction has begun.
Well, that's going to be quite hellish, isn't it?
Yeah, it is for sure. Because if it's going to take 2 years, the north, west, south, north. Going north and going to McAllen. Yeah. It's going to take 2 years, then add another 2 years for the other direction.
Holy crap.
You're going to have about 4 to 5 years. And
Claudia, behave yourself. Hi, Claudia.
Hey.
Yeah, we got Josh.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Josh.
They're dropping in momentarily here. Everybody be with us in just a minute. Yeah, it should be interesting. Like I was telling, I don't know if you heard it, we're going to ad lib. We got an hour we'll discuss the debate just a little bit, and then we'll probably fill in with some of the events from last night, from yesterday, actually. And, anything else that we can pop up. Josh, what's going on? How are you today?
I'm good, just chilling. Just going through some of the comments from last night a little bit earlier, and so it was interesting. It was an interesting night. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's for sure. In fact, what happened yesterday, we could probably fill quite a few hours with, like we did last night, practically. But tonight we got Kamala Harris. We foresee a very polite debate. I don't see any fireworks happening necessarily. What do you guys think?
Well, I don't know.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Cruz. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say it depends on who shows up.
Exactly.
Is it going to be crazy Kamala? Is it going to be prosecutor Kamala? Or is it going to be damsel in distress Kamala?
I'm going to say, since she's a prosecutor is going to be the first one to show her. She'll be the first one to come out.
In other words, she might get bipolar on us and flip-flop between prosecutor and damsel in distress whenever.
I think so. And you guys also understand this is the first time she's ever debated somebody that's really from the other side of the party or from the opposite ideological spectrum from her, because when she was running for as a senator in California, her main opposition was, because they have a jungle primary, was a Democrat. So she really didn't face a true Republican in that sense for election. So this will be the first time she faces a polar opposite in her ideological spectrum. So I think it's going to be interesting, and I think with the experience Mike Pence has, being a former congressman and governor of a major Midwestern state, I think he's going to give her fits. I really do.
There he is.
It's the brains.
The brains, yeah, sure. Sorry, guys.
Harris will get aggressive. She can't help herself. How will she go? Yeah, she may, but I don't know. I think Pence is such a nice guy. I don't know if she'll be able to get all.
Yeah, he's pretty classy. And the reason I said crazy is because he said that Tupac was still alive. So what the Trump-Pence team did, they reserved an empty seat for Tupac.
Yeah, they left a ticket for him or something like that.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you don't think Tupac is alive right now? He's like Elvis. He's Elvis.
Right?
Like, he's totally Elvis. They're probably hanging out right now.
Roman, everybody's asking about.
Guys, sorry. A technical difficulties. Actually, no, I needed to get a drink before I started this show today. So I got my drink. So, and if I didn't have a drink, I was not going to be able to participate very well. Guys, I haven't even shared the feed yet. So if y'all give me a moment. Hey, one of the things I want everybody to do today is give me a word or a phrase tonight that you think should be our bingo game. So every single time that somebody says a particular word or phrase, and after this hour, we'll pick the best one, and that'll be our chug drink. You want to chug a water or tea or an alcoholic beverage. Every time that phrase or word is said, we'll pick it. So about 7:55, we'll decide. So give us your best bingo word for our bingo game. Okay? All right, awesome. Any of you three, anybody that's watching this right now, please give us your bingo word or phrase, and we will vote on it. The four of us, which one is the best that you all pick for us to be the bingo word or phrase.
So the audience is picking, Roman.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want the audience to tell us, and us four or anybody that's on the feed, we will vote on which phrase we want it to be. Okay, but we'll decide that at 7:55. Okay, so give us your bingo word. All right, cool beans. Let me go ahead and share the feed for my friends who love me. What did I miss since I got here late? No plan.
Elaborate.
I'm drunk after that one, and I'm not even drinking. I'm not getting drunk after that one. That's a good choice, Marco. It's a good one. All right, write them down on the private chat for us. Racist.
Who's Eddie? Who's racist, Eddie?
Okay, it doesn't matter. We're doing the bingo game right now. So what I want you to do, if you make a comment, say bingo word or your option, so we know that's what you're saying, not necessarily the comment. So Marco is telling us no plan should be our word, our bingo game or word or phrase.
So that means every word is racist.
Racist. So somebody write it down for us. Josh is going to be our secretary. All right, awesome.
I am.
Yes, because you're writing. Somebody has to write it. You call me the brains. I'm calling you the secretary. I make the decisions. This is.
Well, you're the brains, man. He's the beauty, and I'm the brawn, bro. So.
Brawn. And what the hell is Cruz?
Cruz is Cruz, man. He's everything.
I should drink. I've never liked beer. And no offense, is George Rice watching with us? Because, like, George, I don't like beer. So
Cruz is like Gandalf. He's the wise old sage.
You're calling him old? What's wrong with you?
In a respectful way, Cruz and I have a good.
How are you going to call somebody old in a respectful way, Josh?
Because he has the gray in his beard.
He just.
Wait, so he's gray beard now? Is that what you're saying?
Gandalf, yes.
Gandalf the gray, or again, every time she blames the president. But that's not really a phrase, though, Claudia. Come on, give us some.
No, he's just making a comment, I think. And he's right. I think everything's going to lead back to Trump.
Yeah.
That's what they do. It's a vice presidential debate. All right. I have a question for the panel while you all pick your bingo words. You all are going to help us decide. Bingo, wear a mask. Wear a mask. Good one, Darlene. That's a good one. Make sure who's writing this stuff down.
I got it. Give me just a second. Come
because I want to make sure we give credit to whoever makes the right word that we decide is going to be the bingo word. Who knows? Maybe we'll pick like 3 bingo words. Who knows?
Have you shown a picture of the debate stage tonight?
No.
Yeah, I was looking at the different feeds. Do you want to do C-SPAN again? Last time they had a crappy connection.
Let's do the Fox News one that you picked last time. The only problem is I want to make sure that we get one. If you want to practice it with the live stream, that it's going to be full screen and loud. And I don't know if you can do that with YouTube.
The reason I asked because Kamala's team wanted to set up a plexiglass cage for her.
It's bad enough they're all in a bunker or the basement. Now they want to be in a plexiglass cage.
Yeah, she wants to have her own cage, plexiglass cage.
Is that because they want her to get used to possibly going to prison?
Hey, knock yourself out.
I didn't get a notification that y'all were live. Like, what's going on? This is weird. Our own page is like, it's not even here in my thingy.
Okay, so we had no plan, blames the president. What was the other one?
Racist.
Racist.
Racist and no plan. Yeah, that was it.
Okay, I don't see a cage.
So I guess there's not going to be a cage. Golly,
Probably
I really
because she didn't want to. Never mind, I'm not going to say it. Okay.
Awesome. There, finally, I find it. There you go. All right. So
well, that's going to be pretty much how it's going to look.
So is there plexiglass?
No.
Okay.
I don't see it.
Agree.
Fox, is that a word? Or that's what you want us to watch, Darlene?
Yeah, she needs a cage. I think she means Fox, that she wants us to watch Fox.
Okay.
All right. All right, let me do that, guys. So other than the who to watch and the bingo game, anybody have any ideas how many times President Trump is going to tweet during the vice presidential debate? I'm going to do an over under 20 times there in the hour and a half. 20. Is that a good number or is that too high? You know what? Let's do 15. 15. Over under, Josh. Over under the number of times President Trump will tweet during the vice presidential debate. Under.
I'm going to say over under 10.
No. You got to. I'm giving you the number 10, and you got to tell me over or under.
Oh.
So 15, over under 15 times he will tweet.
I'm going to say under, barely, but under.
Okay, under.
Yeah, I'm going to say over, definitely over.
You're going to do over. All right, Cruz. Over 15. Yeah. All right, can somebody on our feed give feel free over under 15 times the number of times President Trump will tweet. All right. Other than that, I'm not going to ask you who's going to win the debate tonight because I assume everybody here is going to say, Pence is going to win. But put your analyst hat, guys. Like seriously, will Pence beat the pummel out of Harris? Will Pence bore us to sleep? Or will Pence just do what he needs to do to win? Any of those
three? It's going to be classy Pence as usual.
Okay. So you don't think he's not going to come out aggressive, obviously, but
Right. Well, he's going to come out aggressive on some points in a
that's too low, Roxy. Okay, so you're picking the over, Roxy. You're picking the over. I was going to go high. All right, Claudia, you're going over 15. Wow. I thought 15 was a good number. That man, he does. He lives for the attention. He does live. He is the president after all. They all do. They all have whether we like it or not, that's what they want. They like the attention. That's most politicians. They like the attention. Right, guys. This should be fun, Manny. I don't know about that feed because I don't like the fact that there's a bar on the very top, Manny. Is there any?
That's and that's the full screen view.
That works. Like the way you have it right there is fine. But why does it go down though? Do you think maybe? How about try a different browser to use in order to be able to watch it for us?
It could just be the shot they have right now up.
We can't
No, it does it every time. No, they did it last time too. Fox did that the whole night and on their YouTube channel.
Give us a minute. I play with this.
Yeah, play with it for a little bit, and you don't mind. Guys, so nobody thinks that Pence is going to just blow Harris out of the water. Guys, you all commenting, please feel free to comment your thinkings about tonight's debate, what you're looking forward to, what you want to see, and we'll talk about it. So feel free, guys. I really do appreciate y'all watching us tonight. It's not as many as people we had yesterday, so we can be homely and talk.
Yeah, let's talk about yesterday just a little bit.
Oh, you do want to talk about yesterday? Cruz. Just Cruz want to talk about yesterday?
Cruz always wants to talk about anything.
I watched a little bit of it. I was busy in and out away from the screen. I did hear your comment that you thought that she did better than you expected, and I would agree with that.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
That's
Based on knowing who she is for the past 2 years or so that I've seen her posts and her tweets and not tweets. I'm sorry, her Facebook posts.
Yeah.
It was SOP. I thought.
Okay. Bingo. Liar or lies. That's good. That's a good one, Eddie. That's a good one. Bingo. Liars or lies. Yeah, yesterday was fun. Pence had no good record to defend. That bingo? No bingo. Well, I mean that's an interesting point. There were close to 500 people watching. Yeah, at some point we had over
500. We had almost 600.
Yeah, we had like 600 at one point. We had like did you tell Erasmo that last night's view beat the pummel out of his views? Yes, you told him that because he's gonna get really mad.
Yeah, see, even on the full screen, it's not gonna go all the way up. Of course, I'm gonna get rid of this down here, but
that's the way that is right there. That's perfectly fine.
I think that's a product of widescreen.
Yeah, no, what I mean is when you had the other view, there was literally a black bar on the top. It would come down. It was a black bar. That's what we were seeing, and so it comes down. So I'm not saying for it to completely go where you can't see our own background. It's just that. Yeah. So yesterday was fun. I'm beginning. Those of you who have been watching us for a while, for like the last month or so, 45 times 2.
Yep.
For those of you that are watching, we got a lot of negative recommendations for our page, and I'm sorry, I got to laugh at some of those. One of them, my personal favorite, was from Sarah Martinez, who said that we were what did she say? That we were like immature or something? And
that wasn't Sarah. That was a different lady.
Okay, well, Sarah says something, and then you had Little John come on and and then Roman didn't answer the question. He asked a question, and then Vanessa like didn't answer the question right, and then he tried to like give her like more information and ask for her opinion, and then like I personally like to see ours.
Read news. I'll check it out, Nadia.
Okay, cool. Yeah, check it out. And then he tried to get her opinion, and she couldn't answer it, and that really showed that she was unprepared, and that's why she was not a really good candidate. And then somehow or another, that was supposed to be a negative review or recommendation of our page. Like, seriously, guys, that was the point. I'm allowing you, Little John, to be smart once in a while. I know it might be. Maybe it's too hard for you to accept that I want you to sound smart or feel smart. But then, and then he said, I don't know what Roman wants to say. I mean, he might deny it, but I don't believe it. He wants to make like some sort of drug dealer, like sound like a drug user, like some sort of like, reasonable, legitimate person or something. And I'm just like, no, that's not what I was trying to do. Red News, Red News Broadcasting. Okay,
I'll check it out, darling. Nadia.
And I've never heard of Red News. The last night is the reason why I like this page. Awesome, thank you, Roxy. I appreciate it, and I want you to like our page. I will joke around because I like to joke around a little bit. Am I immature? I don't think so. I just laugh at some people because you want to take a joke, but I will be totally serious. Thank you so much, Roxy, for sticking around and enjoying our page. Trust me, you're gonna like what we're gonna have. Just so you all know, we're being approached by some congressional candidates outside from the Valley that want to come on our program and on our show. On Monday night, for example, we're going to have several different candidates come on our 7:30 show. We're going to have multiple, seriously, probably 6 or 7 local candidates, whether they're running for state office, federal office, local offices that we have approached us that want to come on. and we're going to give them 10, 15 minutes to be able to tell us what they're doing, getting ready, because Monday night is the early voting election eve. And so we're going to do that. And tomorrow night, we're going to have Debbie D'Souza on. She's awesome. I'm new to your page, and Vanessa, but I was concerned that she didn't know where to find the budget. It took me 28 seconds. Also, what is her platform? She's not ready for this seat. She should start by the local level. And you know what? That's a respectable response, and I appreciate your comment, because I think that's fair. That's a fair. Again, I think we went over it late last night. My job is not to make the candidate look bad, make the candidate look good. I feel like my job when I ask candidates question is I want you to inform the voters of what you believe, and let you, Marcia, you, Sarah, whoever she is, Little John, even Little John, and Roxy and everybody. I know they were right. Love it.
Happy birthday, Zach! Happy birthday!
Oh, Zach, happy birthday!
Right.
Happy
Kicker
birthday
pie today, Zach. Kicker pie.
You know what? Manny, can you look up Marilyn Monroe singing "Happy Birthday" on YouTube so we can sing it for Zach, because we want to. I don't know. Do we have to pay royalties if we sing the song or something? Because I don't want to pay royalties, or is that no longer?
I don't think so. I think it's public domain by now.
I actually know someone who could probably sing it live for him, but I don't know if she's available right now.
Okay, well, you can message that for her if you want to. You can message that. But let's do the merit for it's everybody. It's Zach Cantu's birthday. Dude, I missed your show today because I had to put gas. Actually, Manny, I had to meet up with Manny and put some gas because of the question, not the person you were interviewing in the late night show. Liz was fire. She is awesome. Liz is awesome. She didn't take nothing from nobody. My birthday, both cake and pie. Ooh, what cake? What cake? What cake are you taking? What cake are you having, and what pie are you eating, Zach? Cake and pie. Cake and pie. I'm still waiting for somebody to make me the banana cream pie that I have been craving for several years. And when I mean several, I mean maybe 10 years, and I'm still craving banana cream pie. I just can't get it. Okay, our friend, the former Republican Party chairman of Kellyburg County, is calling me, so I'm going to put myself on mute so I can talk to him real quick. All right, and then y'all can talk amongst yourselves.
Any plans for tonight, Zach?
Well, someone
maybe not.
Hang on, somebody got him a cake.
I really enjoyed the late show. Well, someone brought me a cake. I'm waiting for pie. There's still time. Hint, hint.
Where'd she go?
Blank.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the late show till 3 a.m. My kind of show. Thanks, Claudia.
Claudia, that was ridiculous last night. I know, over 3 hours, but it was very.
Going on an hour extra after I got off.
There you go, Zach.
I need to eat Cruzy cookies.
I heard about those.
What are Cruzy cookies, Manny?
Darlene, tell them what Cruise cookies are.
Cruz, do you know what Cruzy cookies are?
No idea.
I thought maybe they were named after you. Okay, anyways. Yes, she was articulate and didn't back down. I like her, Liz. We'll let her know, Marcia. Thank you.
Darlene, if you want to post, you got a website or your Facebook or whatever, we'll be glad to showcase it right here. Promote local business. Yep, and let's see. Plan is to watch the debate while playing. No way. Workouts. There you go. Yeah, last night was something quite special.
Sounds good, bro. Dedicate pecan butter cookies. Ooh. Maybe delicate?
Delicate? Is that delicate?
I've never heard of dedicate for a cookie, but.
No, I think she was typing too fast, maybe.
Oh, probably. I suffer from FFS as well. So, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm back.
Darlene, if you want to put a link or something, your Facebook page, feel free. I'll put that up there for you.
Yeah. Bad news, guys. Brandon Burr will not be able to be with us tonight. He had a funeral emergency. So
I'm trying to get Judge Fonseca to join us, even for a little while, a little bit later.
Oh, cool. That'd be awesome. I love Judge Fonseca. Awesome.
Marty's going to try to set that up for us. I believe.
Why don't you ask Marty? Marty's supposed to be with us. Marty is
Decadent. That's what we were going for. Okay, Decadent.
Marty should be with us. Make sure you message. Did you message Marty and Myra the link?
Yes.
Awesome. And did you message Elizabeth to see if she was going to be able to join us for a little while?
I did not actually, but I can see if she.
Okay, cool. I thought maybe you did. I apologize. Anyway, guys, yeah. So we're unfortunately bad news. There's funeral emergency, so Brandon will not be with us tonight. It's unfortunate. I'm like, it happens. Death happens. So. Yeah.
Hey, Judge.
I'm watching. Hey, Judge Fonseca, what's up? We apparently we have a mutual friend now that we didn't know we had. Bonnie Hernandez. She apparently really loves you, so we're cool.
Judge, feel free to join us later once the debate gets started, or a little bit later if you can, if you're able to. I know you just time to put the kids to bed and stuff, but we had open invite.
I am trying to clean my screen real quick, so I apologize. So I don't know why this thing does not want to come out. Sorry, there's some bump on my show. Anyway,
So
guys,
do we have any more words for our drinking game out there? Anybody?
any bingo game words? And remember the over/under as to how many times President Trump will tweet. 50.
Yeah, apparently the over/under the number should be maybe at 25, maybe instead of 15.
No, 15. I don't think he's gonna tweet that much. Y'all really think he's gonna tweet that much? Seriously?
See, when you were just asking for a number, I was thinking 15 in my head, period. But then you're like over or under, and so.
So now you're like under.
Yeah.
He's working on mail. Oh, okay, good. Dude, you need to like have that out already. No, I'm just kidding. No. You better have that in people's mailboxes by Monday. I think mail is not going to be available on Monday, so you need to have people have that mailer in their house on Saturday. So.
Where's Bonnie? I miss my Bonnie. She's probably busy. We did have a few late nights, or at least a couple of them, and everybody stuck with us all night.
Hey, Josh, thanks for taking my caller. No problem.
Cool beans. All right, guys. So next topic. What will Kamala Harris be wearing? What color will she be wearing? You should be wearing white,
charcoal, or something like that.
Yeah, gray.
Gray, charcoal.
I'm thinking dark navy blue, probably.
Anybody have any idea what you think she might be wearing? And the reason that matters is because when they wear something, it always sends a message. The color of whatever they're wearing.
You mean like white, like a white suit?
You think she would pull a Tulsi Gabbard?
No, she hates Tulsi. She won't copy her.
I miss Tulsi Gabbard.
She is what she is. She's the most liberal senator that we have in the Senate. So no, she will not be a Tulsi.
No, I mean like the color. Well,
Eddie nailed it. Eddie nailed it.
Green for the Green New Deal. Oh wow, wow, that's an interesting thing. Oh, color tie. What color tie will Vice President Mike Pence wear tonight?
Red.
Red, white, and blue.
Red.
You don't think he'll wear like a soft baby blue?
He might, but I'm leaning towards red. 60% red.
All right. Well, write these things down because these predictions will matter. You know, this is like the Super Bowl for us nerds, us political nerds. You know, really, this is like the second quarter. The first quarter was last week.
Oh, Marsha, you leaving us?
Are you leaving us?
Come back later.
Marsha, don't leave us if you don't have to. Just so you know, before you leave, Marsha, as soon as the debate is over, we're gonna do a go talking about the debate and talk everything and anything. So I apologize for I hopefully I finished the thought about what happened with last night's stuff. So yeah.
Marty. Yeah. Hi, Marty.
Marty.
Oh, you're doing the glasses today, Marty.
Yeah.
I'm at the GOP right now.
What are y'all doing over there?
Well, Judge donated some pizzas. Believe they have there's phone banking going on, but right now they're doing a flag wave outside. And I'm trying to keep. So yeah, that's what's going on here.
Awesome.
Cool beans. Oh, let me see your shirt. What is the shirt that you're wearing? Is this a silent what?
Silent? No.
No more. Okay, cool. Where'd y'all get those? Is that guys? This is Marty De Leon. She is with the Judge Ismael Fonseca campaign. She's a member of the Hidalgo County GOP, right? You are? Are you a precinct chair still there or no?
Yes.
Precinct chair, and so she's part of the Hidalgo County GOP Executive Committee. Cruz is also a precinct chair and a member of the Hidalgo County Republican Party Executive Committee. He's also you're gonna be a member of the ballot board, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So he's gonna. What does the ballot board do for those of you that are new to the process? Oh, who interrupts first? You say Kamala. That's a good question. Save that
I'm
question.
gonna say,
Tell
I'm
people
gonna think
about
nobody
ballot board.
interrupts. I don't think either of them will interrupt each other. I mean, maybe by accident, but I don't think they'll. It's not going to be a Trump Biden thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that because they learned a lesson. Everybody got turned off by all the interruptions and stuff like that. So I think a lesson.
So you don't think a single interruption will happen?
Not on purpose.
Right.
Okay. Josh,
Someone wants to say hi real quick.
Marsha, go ahead. Hey,
I'm on live.
All right,
say
Mark.
hi.
Have fun. Come back.
Hey.
This is
Hey,
Hilda.
how are you?
Hey.
Roman.
Hi, Roman.
Hey, Hilda.
Hey.
How you doing? This is Hilda DeShazo, one of the best ever high school debate and speech and debate coaches in all of South Texas.
Wow.
I think maybe only Bill Schultz might be better than you.
Maybe.
My personal opinion. Yeah. But yeah, she's one of the best ones, and she was a former state representative candidate. So how you doing, Hilda? What are you all doing?
We're up here for the Trump train. We're supporting Donald Trump. We're just holding up flags and, shouting out 4 more years, and everybody's having a great time. It's good to see you, Roman. I haven't seen you in a while. You need to come visit me.
Yeah, well, I don't go out in public, but yeah, if you ever want to be on the show, let us know.
I will.
I'll see you. God bless. Hilda, that's awesome. Great. Yeah, now you're the big. Now we can see you shirt even better. What is your other shirt? Your tag thing today? Your little lapel, your patch. Cool.
Hidalgo County Republican Party.
And you see, that's what I think. That's what's really awesome about the Hidalgo County Republican Party. Hilda owes me a tennis match.
Want to see another special guest?
Hey, what's up?
Roman.
Hey, Marshall, I can't tell you behind your mask. Don't take it off. We don't want to see your face. Hey, Marshall.
How you
Are you
doing?
going to join us later on? We're going to be doing this all night. So
Absolutely. Well, most certainly.
join me with Mari. Y'all can be together. Cool, Marshall. Yeah. Marisa, join us. Yes, please. We're going to have a lot of fun, guys. And it'll be cool. And we won't. Those of you that didn't see our show last week when we did the debate, we don't really interrupt a lot during the debate. Just every once in a while we'll say something. So you'll get free range to be able to watch it. It's a little bit more fun doing it this way. Sometimes we're like not necessarily watching it. We might be on Twitter. We might be doing something, but you're going to have a group. And as soon as it's over, you don't need Fox News. You don't need CNN. You don't have MSNBC. They don't care about your opinions. We care about your opinions. And we'll talk about your opinions, and you'll hear our opinions on this debate. So I'm looking forward to it. Anybody nervous? I was really nervous last week for that debate. Are you all nervous about this debate at all?
No, not me.
How fast is it going to be before you all want to fall asleep?
Yeah. That's a good question.
That all depends.
That all depends. Anybody know anything about the moderator? It's going to be Susan Page. I believe she's with USA Today, if I'm not mistaken. Anybody know anything about Miss Susan?
Susan Page. Heard the name. Don't know much about her. Or how they.
Hey, wait. They do have a little plexiglass, not a cage. They're going to have a plexiglass on writing 2 of them, not just one. It's going to be like this. And on either side, they didn't just have one. Cool. That's awesome. Thanks for joining the fun. Okay, Mari, no worries. They were going to have 2 tables. If y'all can see 2 tables, they're supposed to be like 13 feet apart from each other. And then what they're going to do is have up 2 plexiglasses in between them. Not just 1, but 2. They needed double protection, I guess. What are your thoughts about that? Why didn't they just have 1 plexiglass? Do they really need 2? Ramon promised us Finn.
Yeah, you're Ramon, remember?
Oh, he called me Ramon. What is promise us Finn? What is
fun? I think she meant fun. Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, I did promise you fun. This will be fun. It'll be okay. You're going to have okay. Notorious B.I.G. instead of Notorious RBG. I don't get that one. I don't get it. Explain it. I don't think. Or do you think that Kamala Harris will mention RBG a lot? I don't think she'll mention Kamala Harris a lot.
The Tories BIG instead of RBG.
Well, the topic is going to come up as to why they should wait or why they shouldn't wait. I'm sure it's going to come up.
Whoa, that link changed. What's up? There it is.
There it is. That is weird. Like it's taken over you, dude. I was right. She was from USA Today. Wow.
Right.
Wearing your mask, Mari?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I like your mask.
Thanks.
'Cause
Yeah.
you're in public right now. You have to wear your mask.
It'll be kind of interesting to hear her questions, Roman, because she wrote a book on Barbara Bush, and then she also wrote a book on Nancy Pelosi. So it might seem like she's kind of a moderate from that standpoint. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what type of questions she asks tonight.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I was really expecting Chris Wallace to be better than what he was.
I think all of us were.
And he was pitifully horrible, just bad. And I really do hope that cool. I really hope that I didn't know what you meant by Ramon, but Ramon. Like, Ramon. I don't even mean it as an insult or not. Camilla messed up in referring to RBG as BIG. Okay. I can believe that. That's Kamala. No, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was expecting him to do better, and so hopefully, you think that Susan Page will be better than Chris Wallace, better than Candy Crowley.
I think so.
Think she'll be better, but I think it also depends on. You got to think of the personalities of the two people debating, and President Trump does have the personality of being loud sometimes and sometimes brashish, and so you got to think about their personalities, and where I think Mike Pence, one of his strengths is he's more calm and cool and collective in his delivery and thought process, and so I think you have to think about that as well as who the moderator is.
I'm curious as to whether the strategy would be to take advantage of Pence's never hit a woman character. In other words, come after him knowing that he's probably not.
I thought you mean he might be a little too soft, maybe?
Right.
Like not aggressive enough, just because he's a nice guy.
Right.
A proper guy. I could see that.
Yesterday there was an interesting poll, not of Democrat voters and Republican voters, as to, or necessarily Trump voters or Biden voters, and it was Emerson poll, I believe it was, and they said that about 80% of Trump voters are planning to vote in person, as opposed to only 19% voting by mail, as opposed to Biden voters. And I believe the Biden voters, a good majority of Biden voters are going to vote by mail as opposed to in person. Voter fraud. Yay, I like that one. And it's cool. It hit it with my topic with Emerson polling. What are your thoughts on voting by mail, voting in person, and whether that will benefit one candidate or the other? And I'd particularly like to hear Cruz's opinion, because Cruz is going to be a member of the Hidalgo County ballot board. And if you can tell everybody what a ballot board member does, Cruz, and then give us your opinion as to whether or not one person would do better than the other.
The ballot board meets in teams, and it would be one Democrat, one Republican per team to review the mail-in ballots that come in. We review for technical completeness, and we review the signature. And if either one of those is lacking, the ballot gets rejected. Now, this year is a little bit different because we're supposed to, on a signature issue, give the voter the opportunity to come and cure the issue.
Okay. Cruz, can I ask you a question on that? Earlier this week, the United States Supreme Court ruled against South Carolina and their determination to change the rules of how to count mail-in ballots and whatnot during an election. And do you have any idea, or has anybody in Hidalgo County asked whether or not this ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court will supersede the ruling that the U.S. federal judge and Obama, I believe he's an Obama appointee, Orlando Garcia from San Antonio, who made the ruling that said that you didn't have to look at the signature. You couldn't just use the signature alone to disregard a voter's vote. Fake news. That's good. That's good. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about, but I have not received any kind of instructions from either party, from anyone actually, as to what we're really supposed to do with that, because that is the job of the ballot board.
Yeah.
And what he's saying, what the judge is saying is, we don't need you guys. That's what I mean. If that's the case, we don't need you.
All right. So I would recommend you getting in contact with your county chairman and seeing if there's anything there and get guidance from the state Republican Party, because I feel like the United States Supreme Court, again, I'm not an attorney, was trying to send a message to the states that whatever you have in your election laws, the election is already starting. Don't be changing it in the middle of the election. And that's, I think, what the signal that they sent to South Carolina and to the rest of the country. And so it might be also sending a signal to U.S. district judges like
Yeah, and I actually would think that it's kind of, I mean, if you pay attention to what the role of mail-in ballots do, and this is irregardless of whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you want to make sure that your vote is protected. You want to make sure that your vote is counted. But unfortunately, here in Hidalgo County, it's known to, I've served on ballot board, okay? And I know what it's like when you're there. I know what it's like when you have a ballot that's been tampered with. So as a ballot board, you have to disregard that based on the rule of we cannot accept tampered ballots, even if it's missing a signature. So for me, here in Hidalgo County, I would think that it could potentially hurt a lot of candidates who are very good candidates that are on the ballot. So I'm concerned about it. And I wish that I hope you get instruction, Cruz, from the elections office, on how to actually even document or record those ballots or keep them aside,
Yeah, because and the real stickler is, Cruz, is, if correct me if I'm wrong, but the ruling by the federal district judge in San Antonio was that if there is a signature there, and that is the only reason the signature that you have does not match the signature that was the original signature that was the application to receive that mail-in ballot. Because for those of you who are unaware, in order to get a mail-in ballot, you have to actually request it. And so when you request it, you sign it. And the elections department keeps that application. And then when you send in your mail-in ballots in an envelope, and what the ballot board will do is compare the signature when you requested it and the signature that is on the outside of the ballot. Because the ballot, you don't actually open the ballot until you verify that signature matches. And what the judge in San Antonio is saying, well, if those two signatures don't match, it's not enough to say it's not the same person that's voting. And that leads to problems, because you'll have vote harvesters, or what some of them, not all of them, are politiqueros. And so they will go randomly to the people that they control, or their block captains or something. And this is what the story goes. And I'm not poking fun at anybody in particular. They will go to those people, grab them all, and kind of do the signature for them. There are rumors rampant throughout the valley, and I'm sure some of you have heard it, not everybody, is that you'll have politiqueros will go and then, look, all these ballots have not been signed. And here's the ballot. They haven't been filled out. If you, candidate X, give me so much money, all these votes will be for you. Allegedly, it's what some politiqueros and vote harvesters will do. And so if the signatures don't match, there's a reason for that, because it could be a completely different person who's opened up those ballots, put it back in there, and re-signed it. And you need to be able to match it. But Orlando Garcia, I believe that's the right judge I'm talking about, that very liberal judge in San Antonio, said, nope, that's not enough to disregard it. And for people like myself, and I'm assuming people like Cruz, that seems unfair to other people's whose votes are legitimate. There's questions of legitimacy whether or not that ballot should be counted, if that ballot is in fact the person that requested the ballot and is the voter, the registered voter. Did I explain that properly, guys? Cruz, was I right on that?
Yeah, except that you left out the part that didn't the order say that they must be allowed to cure the error?
Yes. Yeah, but the curing of the error isn't in the election code, right?
No, it's not.
And so this was that's the point, and that's why it's not in the election code for this curing and this process that's set in stone prior to the election. And again, the election's already started; people are voting already. I think that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled in that South Carolina ruling that nope, can't change the rules. Sorry, don't be doing that. And so if they said that, I'm assuming that this particular ruling by Judge Garcia has already been appealed by the Fifth Circuit Court, appealed to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. I don't know, but the reason this is important in Hidalgo County is because one of the plaintiffs that brought it forth is a voter in Hidalgo County, and that's why this is important to me, and I think it's important to you all in Hidalgo County.
Yeah, it's actually very, very important for all candidates, especially like for myself, that we've been working very hard to make sure we get the message out. But the other component to every race and any race is making sure that whether you're voting in person, whether you're going to vote by mail, I mean, if you vote in person, there's that possibility of error in the polling box, correct? Right? Technology, there's an error. But when we're doing mail-in ballots, that's another thing too. It's how do we do that? How do we fix that? But I've personally have heard and have seen, and I've been in ballot board, and I can tell you that when you got two sides, two people, two parties, one person per each party trying to address and make sure every vote is counted, and they're trying to do their due diligence, and then now they're being told you got to try to cure a mistake, but then there's no instruction. It really, as a voter, makes you feel like there's the uncertainty. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is this: you have, even if you thought that you're registered to vote, this is a problem that happens. You show up to the polls, they tell you you're not on the ballot. Why are you laughing, Roman? Why are you laughing?
Probably the comment that's on the screen.
Oh.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I promise.
I just saw that. Okay.
It's hard not to think when I see Kamala Harris. She moved up the ladder of political success, doing the dirty.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
No, there.
Remember that Gilbert Hinojosa, he himself said that mail-in ballot was where all the voter fraud was occurring. He said that during the voter ID debate. So when the Democrat Party chair himself says that's where it's occurring, we're supposed to really take him at his word, should we not?
I do.
And that was in 2016 when he said that.
And I respect Judge Hinojosa, Chairman Hinojosa. I respect him, so I would have no doubt but to believe him if he says that. He's a knowledgeable man when it comes to election law. He's a knowledgeable man when it comes to party politics. Even he's a Democrat, and so I'll take him at his word.
This is what he said. 2016, Gilberto Hinojosa, Texas Democratic Party chairman and opponent of state ID laws, of the state's ID law, said Republicans are too focused on voter ID and turn a blind eye toward election fraud by mail-in ballots, which is more prevalent in the state.
Wow.
He said that in 2016.
Has anybody informed of President Trump of that particular quote? I'm sure he would love that quote.
Yeah, and he said, when you suppress the vote by this made up by boogeyman that Republicans created, voter fraud by voter impersonation. They put themselves in a situation to succeed in elections.
And
That's
and you know what? That needs to be the mainstream media and the national media needs to ask that question to the Democrat National Committee. And just so anybody knows, Judge Hinojosa's daughter, who's an adult, she's, if I'm not mistaken, the spokeswoman for the Democrat National Committee. So it'd be interesting to think what they think of that. Yeah. So I think it's important.
I'll give you my take on the conflict between election law and what the judge ordered or ruled. Election law says that ballot board is the final arbiter of the mail-in board, of a mail-in ballot. So technically, legally, we can override his ruling. We are the final arbiter, regardless of what he says.
Hey, Tasha, evening. I have a question on that. And you all should make different bingo cards ahead of time so we can play during the live. I could have done that, but I'm more like drinking game bingo. So it is now 7:52.
I don't even have a drink.
It's okay. I finished my drink already, and it didn't have alcohol. But our drinking game is going to be this. What are our options, guys? You all get to vote on which one is going to be our drinking word of the day. And that is what Judge Hinojosa said, Chairman Hinojosa. And I call him Judge Hinojosa because he was the county judge of our county here in Cameron County for many years. But he's also Chairman Hinojosa because he's the chairman of the Texas Democratic Party. I don't know what's the higher level. Don't know which is a bigger deal. But I guess maybe what he is right now, Chairman Hinojosa set this in 2016. So what are going to be our drinking game? Hey, Elizabeth. Drinking game word or phrase. What are our options, guys? What are our options?
Our phrase are masks.
Mask. Oh, wow. Do I really want to drink to that?
Yeah, we hear it a lot.
Oh, golly.
We have Here are our options, y'all. We have no plan.
From who?
The president. The first couple ones, I just got the words. I didn't get their names.
How about dirty? How about dirty?
Dirty.
We have racist or systemic racism. Liars, voter fraud, court packing. Those three were from Eddie. Somebody suggested the Green New Deal, and the last one we had was from Mariana, was fake news.
And then we also have what Marty's are saying. But no, if Marty gives her those words, she won't be able to vote. So you can't vote then, Marty, if you're giving us offers. All right. So Elizabeth, which one do you want to be our drinking word of the day that's going to get us drunk? Any of those phrases?
Corona, COVID.
Oh God, that would be
COVID.
Oh man.
How many of y'all have to go to work tomorrow? That's the real question.
All right. So let's go in one more time. The ones that are because it can't be coming from us, has come from our fans.
So fake news, Green New Deal, liars, voter fraud, court packing, racist, or no plan.
All right.
Are misogynists in there somewhere in there too?
No, we earlier we said they had the whole hour for anybody to come up with drinking word bingo words for our game, and we got to pick the one phrase of those that have been offered to be the one that we're going to use to drink. Or do you all want to just use all of those words and say every single time any of those words are said, we drink? It's up to you all.
I say racist is going to be the one. That's her favorite thing to do is race card.
Okay. I think it's going to be no plan. I think no plan is going to be said more.
Justice.
All right. Justice. Oh.
Justice,
maybe. I honestly, if I were to throw in, I think coronavirus is going to be the word that's going to be said the most. T5 until debate time. Yeah, 5 minutes. All right, guys. What do you use them all? Okay, yeah, let's use them all, guys. All those. So anytime any of those words are said, and
I guess Eddie doesn't have to work tomorrow.
We will drink.
How about RGB?
I don't have alcohol, so I'm not gonna get drunk. I didn't say you had to drink alcohol to drink. It's just up to you, Josh. You want to use it as an excuse to get drunk. Law and order. All right.
Well, I'm gonna get a kidney stone, drinking all my sweet tea.
Well, I already had tea. I got some lemonade, some strawberry lemonade, so I'll probably have that for the debate.
Yeah, I just noticed all the profile pictures came back.
They didn't they? That's awesome. Last night they didn't come up last night at all. I have no idea who I was talking to. It's crazy.
All right, we got a few more minutes. I just wanted to drop in and say hey, that I'll be watching you guys, and don't hold back like you did on yesterday's interview.
I
So
held
hard.
I held
I'm
back.
being
You know what? Have you
sarcastic.
seen some of the
I'm
comments
being
that happened today?
sarcastic. Sarcasm.
Okay. Did you see some of the non-recommends that they said about our job yesterday, Liz?
Oh, all I know is that you have like a 1 or a 0 out of 5 stars for your page.
I know, and they're one of them was, we can read them. It was hilarious. It was just hilarious. You didn't ask the right question. Wah. You were so mean.
I asked the right question.
You didn't want to be
Oh yeah, that was good. When she did come back for that second, that was.
Oops. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
put the little one to bed. Kids first.
See you
Take
later.
care.
Bye.
Be
Take care.
good.
Bye. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye. Wah. That's what happened yesterday, last night, all day today. Yesterday. You Roman, you were supposed to ask something mean about her. You were supposed to ask about her arrest. Why did you do that, guy? Why? Well, you were supposed to. I was supposed to live vicariously through you and ask. You were supposed to do that. Wah. That's what it was yesterday. That's all it was. Wah. She blocked me. Yeah. Why did she block me? Why didn't you ask her? Why didn't you ask her about why you blocked me? I learned about the Constitution. I learned about that, but that's all you learned from you. I didn't learn anything other than that. I learned about that. Never mind it, that you really taught me about the fact that she didn't turn in her campaign finance report on Monday and she's wrong. And never mind that you told me that I could file a complaint. You were not mean enough. You didn't put pressure on her. All right. I'm sorry if it annoys you. That's seriously the voices I hear when I hear some of y'all guys complaining about, you were not mean enough to her. I just wanted you to get after her because she can't see me. You were defending her. No, I wasn't. I wasn't defending her.
Yeah, there was a lot of.
Your questions were not very good.
There was a lot of angry, spiteful people. I mean, they were just out with the torches and the hot tower or whatever. I mean, they were out there nasty.
I'm going to trash your page and I'm going to tell everybody not to. I'm not going to recommend your page because you didn't ask the tough questions. Never mind that she couldn't really answer a lot of them, and that's my opinion because I even wrote it that she didn't answer any of the questions. But you wanted you to ask about her criminal record because your criminal record is important to me, even though I already know all about her criminal past and everybody needs to know what I already know because I'm so smart. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm allowing you to be smart. This is about an issues page. I don't want you to be an adult. You're not being an adult right now because you're making fun of me. Like, yeah, I'm not really making fun of you. I just really think that you're really need life, guys. It's okay. I have nothing better to do with my life. I'm an old person. I'm old now, and I hurt my life. My life was horrible when I was younger, and this is why I'm old and gray, and nobody wants me. Nobody loves me. That's why I had to go over to Mercedes and visit her at Star. Am I annoying you? You're very welcome. I could do this all night, guys.
No, please don't.
No. I've literally been doing some of this stuff all day. My son is like, "You're hilarious, Dad." I know, right? I can totally do car.
All right, it's go time, guys.
All right, guys, it's go time. It's already 8:00. Welcome, guys. If y'all don't mind resharing our feed and letting them know that we're going to be watching the debate now, because earlier it was just the pregame. And I love that I was able to make you all laugh. And I could totally do this. I don't mind doing it again. I might do it later on tonight when I have more people coming on. And then you're like, he's so mean. He was making fun of her. She was making a weird noise. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a voice of him too. It's like, it's okay. Go right ahead. I'm fine with it. That's because Vanessa is a liar.
Oh, whoops.
Wait. Go back. Go back to the being a liar. She does cocaine, got her children taken away from her, so then she committed fraud. I get that. I understand. I respect that. No, Jenny, no. I'm not going to vote. I mean, I'm not going to vote for her.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
You have no idea, Judge. Okay, Jenny, let me be open. Get ruminants of his office medication. Jenny, I respect the fact that some people really wanted me to ask those questions. Okay, I didn't ask those questions because I really want to talk about issues. And no wonder. I know some people aren't interested in the Veep debate, Jenny. Some people are not interested in it. That's fine. Like, it's
All
okay.
right. I wonder if they just haven't turned on their audio yet because
It's possible the audio hasn't happened. Like,
oh, come on, people. It's like 8:01 already.
I guess, Jenny, I honestly, Jenny, you all know about her history, her past, her personal stuff. I don't need to talk about that. No, I didn't. I told everybody before the show that I wasn't going to ask those questions. I told people Sunday night I wasn't going to ask those questions. I was on till 3 a.m. with people, and everybody understood why I wasn't going to ask those questions. And again,
and it didn't matter.
Wait, let me repeat this again. If you believe that she's guilty of what she's been accused of by the prosecutors, then you want a fair trial so that she and her lawyers cannot say we had a tainted jury pool and not get a fair trial, and she gets out of it. So again, if you want her to go to jail, I'm not a juror, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a judge. But I'm just saying, if you want her to go to jail, you want her to have a fair trial. You do. And I would want that for anybody to bring it up in public. And then, mind you, I live in Florida. I get it. There's a lot of stuff happening in Florida. Florida, man, sorry. I understand why people wanted to listen to her, wanted to do that. I get it. But that's not what this page is about. This page is about trying to inform voters about issues that matter, about how they stand. And people were able to see and judge for themselves whether they think that she's ready to be a state senator.
Well, the vice president is.
That's your job, not mine.
For brash defense of the Trump.
God bless you. Again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.
Defense,
some of the people that were commenting were
of the coronavirus task force. So he's going to be talking a lot about what they think they did right. He's also.
Why are we listening to this woman? I want to hear her. She is not a journalist.
I had to refresh the screen because we thought we were looking at something, but it was frozen.
Okay. I don't want to see that woman. She is a horrible, horrible journalist, and she gives journalists a bad name. My personal opinion, I still can do that. But I think you all did a great job. Thank you, Andy. You were very professional with your questions. Thank you. And I'm trying to have fun. God bless you too. And I want you to like our page. I want you to enjoy our page and be.
Thank you, Jenny.
Helpful. I do, but it was more like there's a couple of people that were just being. It's okay. I get it. I'm a big boy. I'm an adult, but I like to have fun too.
Oh,
I remember she came up with COVID too. What she did? Like, oh crap! I'm sorry.
First and only
We'll save that comment for later.
Of 2020, sponsored by the Nonpartisan Commission on Presidential Debates. I'm Susan Page of USA Today. It is my honor to moderate this debate, an important part of our democracy. In Kingsbury Hall tonight, we have a small and socially distant audience, and we've taken extra precautions during this pandemic.
Extra protection? What? Don't mute yourself, Manny, please. If you mute yourself, we can't hear it.
Enthusiastic about their candidates, but they've agreed to express that enthusiasm only twice, at the end of the debate and now when I introduce the candidates. Please welcome California Senator Kamala Harris and Vice President Pence.
Hi, Marty.
Hey, Myra. Hi, how are you guys?
Okay, so he's wearing a red tie. He's wearing a red tie, and she's wearing a bluish grayish shirt. Wow, Josh. Did you know what she was going to... You're like Nostradamus, Josh. Josh, you are Nostradamus right there. You predicted both of them accurately.
Senator Harris and Vice President Pence, thank you for being here. We're meeting as President Trump and the First Lady continue to undergo treatment in Washington after testing positive for COVID-19. We send our thoughts and prayers to them for their rapid and complete recovery and for the recovery of everyone afflicted by the coronavirus. The two campaigns and the Commission on Presidential Debates have agreed to the ground rules for tonight. I'm here to enforce them on behalf of the millions of Americans who are watching. One note, no one in either campaign or at the commission or anywhere else has been told in advance what topics I'll raise or what questions I'll ask. This 90-minute debate will be divided into 9 segments of about 10
You're wearing black. I'll
begin a segment by posing a question to each of you. Sometimes the same question, sometimes a different question on the same topic. You will then have
black
to answer.
It looks like black and navy blue.
Yeah, so it looked like, for me, it kind of looks like a darkish gray here.
On the bottom it looks navy blue.
At that point, although there will always be more to say, we'll move on to the next.
And feel free to make comments on during the debate, and they'll come up and I will post them.
But Americans also deserve a discussion that is civil. These are tumultuous times, but we can and will have a respectful debate about the big issues facing our nation.
It's supposed to be a drinking game?
The ongoing pandemic has cost our country so much.
Manny will post the
Harris, the coronavirus is not under control.
So when you talking about these two things,
Hopkins reports that 30 states COVID cases over the past 7 days than in the week before. 9 states have set new records. Even if a vaccine is released soon, the next administration will face hard choices.
So they're going Corona
What would
first.
a Biden administration do in January and February that a Trump administration wouldn't do? Would you impose new lockdowns for businesses and schools and hotspots? A federal mandate to wear masks?
Wait, she has to write it down.
Without
Multiple choice?
Susan. Well, the American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country. And here are the facts. 210,000 dead people in our country in just the last several months. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease. 1 in 5 businesses closed. We're looking at frontline workers who have been treated like sacrificial workers.
Why am I yawning?
At over 30 million people who in the last
I don't think I would make it the hour and a half.
For unemployment.
Neither. I'm like falling asleep already.
On January 28th, the vice president and the president were informed
Can we get Vanessa back
about
in
the
here?
nature
I
of
don't
this
know.
pandemic.
Just
They were
saying.
informed that it's lethal,
We get alcohol. We're gonna need coffee.
that it is airborne,
Yes.
that it will affect young people, and that it would be contracted because it is airborne. And they knew what was happening, and they
Did she say mask?
Can you imagine if you knew on January 28th, as opposed to March 13th, what they knew, what you might have done to prepare? They knew and they covered it up. The president said it was a hoax. They minimized the seriousness of it. The president said, you're on one side of his ledger if you wear a mask, you're on the other side of his ledger if you don't. And in spite of all of that, today they still don't have a plan. They still don't have a plan. Well, Joe Biden does.
No plan.
Drink
A national strategy for contact tracing, testing, for administration of the vaccine, and making sure that it will be free for all. That is the plan that Joe Biden has, and that I'm knowing that we have to get a hold of.
Maybe free should be a word.
Save our country. And Joe Biden is the best leader to do that. And frankly, this administration has forfeited their right to re-election based on this.
Thank you, Senator Harris.
Forfeited.
Vice President Pence, more than 210,000 Americans have died of COVID-19 since February. The U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population is higher than that of almost every other wealthy nation on earth. For instance, our death rate is 2.5 times that of Canada next door. You head the administration's coronavirus task force. Why is the U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population higher than that of almost every other wealthy country? And you have 2 minutes to respond.
So positive.
Thank the Commission and the University of Utah for hosting this event. And Senator Harris, it's a privilege to be on the stage with you.
Gentlemen.
And our nation has gone through a challenging time this year. But I want the American people to know that from the very first day, President Donald Trump has put the health of America first. Before there were more than 5 cases in the United States, all people who had returned from China, President Donald Trump did what no other American president had ever done. that was he suspended all travel from China, the second largest economy. Now, Senator Joe Biden opposed that decision, said it was xenophobic and hysterical. But I can tell you, having led the White House Coronavirus Task Force, that decision alone by President Trump bought us invaluable time to stand up the greatest national mobilization since World War II. And I believe it saved hundreds of thousands of American lives. Because with that time, we were able to reinvent testing. More than 115 million tests have been done to date. We were able to see to the delivery of billions of supplies so our doctors and nurses had the resources and support they needed. And we began really before the month of February was out to develop a vaccine and to develop medicines and therapeutics that have been saving lives all along the way. And under President Trump's leadership, Operation Warp Speed, we believe we'll have literally tens of millions of doses of a vaccine before the end of this year. The reality is, when you look at the Biden plan, it reads an awful lot like what President Trump and I and our task force have been doing every step of the way. And quite frankly, when I look at their plan that talks about advancing testing, creating new PPE, developing a vaccine, it looks a little bit like plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little bit about. This is a president who has put the health of America first, and the American people, I believe with my heart, can be proud of the sacrifices they have made. It's saved countless American lives.
Senator Harris, would you like to respond?
Absolutely. Whatever the vice president is claiming the administration has done, clearly it hasn't worked. When you're looking at over 210,000 dead bodies in our country, American lives that have been lost, families that are grieving that loss. And, you know, the vice president is
really interesting.
And knew on January 28th how serious this was. And then thanks to Bob Woodward, we learned that they knew about it. And then when that was exposed, the vice president said, when asked, well, why didn't y'all tell anybody? He said, because the president wanted people to remain calm.
Well, let's go.
No, but Susan, this is
Well,
important.
what did you do? Emergency preparedness too.
You have 15 more seconds, and then we'll give the vice president a chance to.
So I want to ask the American people, how calm were you when you were panicked about where you're going to get your next roll of toilet paper? How calm were you when your kids were sent?
That should have been a word.
That was Trump's fault? The toilet paper is Trump's fault?
When your children your parents because you were afraid they could kill them.
Vice President, you have 1 minute to respond.
You know, there's not a day going by that I haven't thought of every American family that's lost a loved one. And I want all of you to know that you'll always be in our hearts, in our prayers. But when you say what the American people have done over these last 8 months hasn't worked, that's a great disservice. The sacrifices the American people have made. The reality, if I may finish.
She interrupted first.
As Dr. Fauci said, the thing that he told the president in the Oval Office and told the American people. Now, President Trump, I will tell you, has boundless confidence in the American people, and he always spoke with confidence that we'd get through this together. But when you say it hasn't worked, when Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx and our medical experts came to us in the second week,
so was I.
Said if the president didn't take the unprecedented step of shutting down roughly half of the American economy, that we could lose 2.2 million Americans. And that's the reality.
Thank you.
They also
Thank you,
said to us, if we did everything right, Susan, we could still lose more than 200,000 Americans.
Vice President
Now, one
Pence.
life lost is too many, Susan. But the American people, I believe, deserve credit for the sacrifices that they have made, putting the health of their family and their
Totally my fault.
doctors, our nurses.
Steal all my antibacterial wipes.
And I'm going to speak up on behalf of what the American people have done.
You were in the front row in a Rose Garden event 11 days ago at what seems to have been a super spreader event for senior administration and
Define a
congressional.
super spreader, Susan.
No
Super
social
spreader.
distancing, few masks, now a cluster of coronavirus cases among those who were there. How can you expect Americans to follow the administration's safety guidelines to protect themselves?
Use a bidet, help me.
Well, the American people have demonstrated over the last 8 months that when given the facts, they're willing to put the health of their families and their neighbors and people they don't even know first. President Trump and I have great confidence in the American people.
I really want to see a side screen
information
Side by side the whole time.
and put it into practice.
Because
At the height of the epidemic,
Kamala's reactions are great.
we were losing
I know.
breaking number of
It's
2,000
arrogance, really.
a day. We surged resources to New Jersey and New York and New Orleans and Detroit. We told the American people what needed to be done, and the American
Yes, he's doing this on purpose, by the way.
the outbreak of Sunbelt, some again, Americans stepped forward. But the reality is the work of the President of the United States goes on. A vacancy on the Supreme Court of the United States has come upon us, and the President introduced Judge Amy Coney
Yes,
Barrett.
thank you, Vice President.
At that, if I may say, that Rose Garden event, there's been a great deal of speculation about it. My wife Karen and I were there and honored to be there. Many of the people who were at that event, Susan, actually were tested for coronavirus, and it was an outdoor event, which all of our scientists regularly and routinely advise. The difference here is President Trump and I trust the American people to make choices in the best interest of their health. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris consistently talk about mandates, and not just mandates with the coronavirus, but the takeover of health care,
Thank
the
you,
Green New Deal, all government.
Green New Deal.
Green New Deal. Green New Deal.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about
I
respecting
think I found that other camera
You
angle,
respect
guys.
the American people when you tell them the truth. You respect the American people when you have the courage
Which we've
to be a
always
leader,
done.
speaking of those things that you
Why
may
is he on the? Why is
Can
he
you
in
switch it over,
the?
please?
so they can protect themselves.
If you got a better camera and switch it over, please,
Stood
man.
on information that if you had as a parent, if you had as a worker knowing you didn't have enough money saved up, and now you're standing in a food line because of the ineptitude
No, they were already doing that before COVID.
administration that was unwilling to speak the truth to the American people. So let's talk about
She did, Maria.
the American people. The American people
Yeah,
have
she did.
sacrificed far too much because of the incompetence of this administration. It is asking
I
too much.
love your honesty, Maria.
It is asking too much of the people. That they would not be equipped with the information they need to help themselves to protect
Susan,
their parents
President-
and their
I'm sorry.
children.
Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, I'm sorry.
That's fine, I'm Kamala.
No, you're Senator Harris to me.
I wasn't worried about toilet paper.
Get back to normal.
Kissy butt, kissy butt.
Other
I
experts
was worried about the water.
who can be vaccinated.
You just switch already to another angle, Manny?
But half of Americans
Okay.
now say they wouldn't take a
Hold on.
vaccine if it was released now. If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if
To
the
me,
doctors tell us
For
that
life
we
to
should
get
take
back
it,
to
I'll be-
normal, Dr. Anthony Fauci and other experts say that most of the people who can be vaccinated need to be vaccinated. But half of Americans now say they wouldn't take a vaccine if it was released now. If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if
Let her
doctors,
know she won't take it.
the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it. Absolutely.
Blink. Those eyes.
Take it. I'm not taking it.
Vice President Pence, there have been a lot of repercussions from this pandemic. In recent days, the president's diagnosis of COVID-19 has underscored the importance of the job that you hold and that you are seeking. That's our second topic tonight. It's the role of the vice president. One of you will make history on January 20th. You will be the vice president to the oldest president the United States has ever had. Donald Trump will be 74 years old on Inauguration Day. Joe Biden will be 78 years old. That already has raised concerns among some voters, concerns that have been sharpened by President Trump's hospitalization in recent days. Vice President Pence, have you had a conversation or reached an agreement with President Trump about safeguards or procedures when it comes to the issue of presidential disability? And if not, do you think you should? You have 2 minutes without interruption.
None of your business.
Thank you, although I would like to go back.
I think we need to move on
Well,
to the
thank
issue
you,
of
but I would like to
vice
go back
presidency.
because the reality is that we're going to have a vaccine
However you want.
in record time, in unheard of time, in less than a year. We have 5 companies in phase 3 clinical trials, and we're right now producing tens of millions of doses. So the fact that you continue to undermine public confidence in a vaccine emerges during the Trump administration, I think is unconscious.
The moderator is just there for show.
Stop politics with people's lives. The reality is that we will have a vaccine, we believe, before the end of this year. And it will have the capacity to save countless American lives. And your continuous undermining of confidence in a vaccine is it's just unacceptable. And let me also say,
un-American.
Is when you talk about failure in this administration, we actually do know what failure looks like in a pandemic.
Ooh.
2009, the swine flu arrived in the United States. Thankfully, it ended up not being as lethal as the coronavirus.
Well, affected 60 million people.
The year when Joe Biden was vice president of the United States, not 7.5 million people contracted the swine flu. 60 million Americans contracted the swine flu.
Yep.
If the swine flu had been as lethal as the coronavirus in 2009.
Oh, he's not.
Vice president.
You had the fact check. 60 million is how many people contracted it.
Ron claimed would say last year
in 2009, 2010, it was 60 million.
Everything possible.
2009, 2008.
And we
My daughter was one of them.
I think it was fact checked even by USA Today.
They left an empty and hollow plan, but we
Thank
still
you, Vice
learn
President
from it.
Pence.
And I think
Vice
the
President
American
Pence, your
people,
time is
I'm going
up.
to say again, can be
Vice
proud
President-
of what they've done. And Senator,
Thank you, Vice
stop
President
undermining
Pence.
confidence in a vaccine.
Senator Harris, let me ask you the same question that I asked Vice President Pence, which is
God bless you for what you do.
conversation or reached an agreement with Vice President Biden about safeguards or
I
procedures.
agree, but I think he's stalling for time and being calm as opposed to necessarily President Trump being.
In the upcoming election next month, do you think you should? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
So let me tell you, first of all, the day I got the call from Joe Biden, it was actually a Zoom call. Asking to serve with him on this ticket was probably one of the most memorable days of my life.
He had to read the script like several times.
I thought about my mother, who came to the United States at the age of 19, gave birth to me at the age of 25 at Kaiser Hospital in Oakland, California.
Then
I'd be sitting here right now. I know would make her proud, and she must be looking down on this. You know, Joe and I were raised in a very similar way. We were raised with values that are about hard work, about the value and the dignity of public service, and about the importance of fighting for the dignity of all people. And I think Joe asked me to serve with him because, you know, I have a career that included being elected the first woman district attorney of San Francisco, where I created models of for law enforcement in terms of reform of the criminal justice system. I was elected the first woman of color and Black woman to be elected Attorney General of the state of California, where I ran the second largest Department of Justice.
She was Asian when she was elected first.
The United States Department of Justice. And there I took on everything from transnational criminal organizations to the big banks that were taking advantage of homeowners to for-profit colleges that were taking advantage of veterans.
She ran as an Indian American.
United States is only the second Black woman ever elected.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
Senate. I serve on the Senate Intelligence Committee, where I've been in regular receipt of classified information about threats to our nation and hotspots around the world. I've traveled the world. I've met
that not happen
in war zones. And I think Joe has asked me to serve with him because he knows that we share
Vice President. I thought
which is about lifting up the American people. And after the 4 years that we have seen of Donald Trump unifying the country around our common values and principles.
Thank you, Senator Harris. You know, neither President Trump nor Vice President Biden has released a sort of detailed health information that had become the modern norm until the 2016 election. And in recent days, President Trump's doctors have given misleading answers or refused to answer basic questions about his health. And my question to each of you in turn is this information voters deserve to know? Vice President Pence, would you like to go first?
Well, Susan, thank you. And let me say, on behalf of the president and the First Lady, how moved we've all been by the outpouring of prayers and concern for the president.
Maria.
And I do believe it's emblematic of the prayers.
I promise you, I'm not Maria.
The American impacted by the coronavirus.
I don't think that really was a question, Ellie.
At Walter Reed Hospital, the White House doctors was exceptional. And the transparency that they practiced all along the way will continue. the American people have a right to know about the health and well-being of their president, and will continue to do that. But I'm just extremely grateful and was more than a little moved by the broad and bipartisan. And so I want to thank you and Joe Biden for your expressions of genuine concern. And I also want to congratulate you, as I did in that phone call, on the historic nature of your nomination.
Thank you.
I never expected to be on this stage 4 years ago, so I know the feeling. But the reality is we've got an election before the American people in the midst of this challenging year. And the stakes have never been higher, but I think the choice has never been clearer.
I want to give Senator Harris a chance to respond to the same question I asked, which is, do voters have a right to know more detailed health information about presidential candidates and especially about presidents, especially when they're facing some kind of challenge?
Absolutely. And that's why Joe Biden has been so incredibly transparent. Certainly, by contrast, the president has not, both in terms of health records, but also let's look at taxes. We now know, because of great investigative journalism, that Donald Trump paid $750 in taxes. When I first heard about it, I said, "You mean $750,000?"
How many times was this debunked already?
$750.
Hey.
We now know Donald Trump owes.
But not the media is going to fact check her.
For $400 million. And just so everyone's clear, when we say it means you owe money to somebody.
Tell them to look at
the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, owes money to, because the American people have a right to know what is influencing the president's decisions. And is he making those decisions on the best interest of the American people, of you, or self-interest? So, Susan, I'm glad you asked about transparency, because it has to be across the board. Joe has been incredibly transparent over many, many years. The one thing we all know about Joe, he puts it all out there. He is honest.
Oh my gosh.
Donald Trump, on the other hand,
Biden can't even get it all out there.
You can't even get a full sentence out.
I respect the fact that Joe Biden spent 47 years in public life. I respect your public service as well.
Thank you.
The American people, the president, is a businessman.
He's a piece of work. I was going to say that.
Tens of millions of dollars in taxes, payroll taxes, property taxes. He's created tens of thousands of American jobs. And the president said those public reports are not accurate. And the president's also released literally stacks of financial disclosures the American people can review, just as the law allows. But the distinction here is that Joe Biden, 47 years in public service, compared to President Donald Trump, who brought all of that experience 4 years ago.
Thank you, Vice President.
Turned this economy around by cutting taxes, rolling back regulation.
Thank you, Vice President.
Energy, fighting for free and fair trade, and all of that's on the line if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
You know, that's a good segue into our third topic, which is about the economy. This has been another aspect of life for Americans that's been so affected.
Dr. Drew.
We have a jobs crisis.
Calming effect. That's what you want in the vice president.
The unemployment rate declined to 7.9% in September, but the job growth had stalled, and that was before the latest round of layoffs and furloughs in the airline industry at Disney and elsewhere. Hundreds of thousands of discouraged workers have stopped looking for work. Nearly 11 million jobs that existed at the beginning of the year haven't been replaced. Those hardest hit include Latinos, Blacks, and women. Senator Harris, the Biden-Harris campaign has proposed new programs to boost the economy, and you would pay for that new spending by raising $4 trillion in taxes on wealthy individuals and corporations. Some economists warn that could curb entrepreneurial ventures that fuel growth and create jobs. Would raising taxes put the recovery at risk? And you have 2 minutes to answer uninterrupted.
Thank you. On the issue of the economy, I think there couldn't be a more fundamental difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Biden believes you measure the health and the strength of America's economy based on the health and the strength of the American worker and the American family. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who measures the strength of the economy based on how rich people are doing, which is why he passed a tax bill benefiting the top 1%
and the biggest corporations of America, leading to a $2 trillion deficit that the American people are going to have to pay for. On day one, Joe Biden will repeal that tax bill. He'll get rid of it. And what he'll do with the money is invest it in the American people. And
raise our taxes.
Something that Donald Trump said he would do. I remember hearing about some infrastructure week. I don't think it ever happened. But Joe Biden will do that. He'll invest in infrastructure. It's about upgrading our roads and bridges, investing in clean energy.
Vote for raising your taxes. Vote Joe Biden.
Invest that money in what we need to do around innovation. There was a time when our country believed in science and invested in research and development so that we were an innovation leader on the globe. Joe Biden will use that money to invest in education.
Well, they put money to the Wuhan lab.
Folks who want to go to a 2-year community college, it will be free. If you less than $125,000, you'll go to a public university for free. And across the board, we'll make sure that if you have student loan debt, it's cut by $10,000. That's how Joe Biden thinks about the economy, which is it's about investing in the people of our country as opposed to passing a tax bill, which had the benefit of letting American corporations go offshore to do their business.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, your administration has been predicting rapid and robust recovery, but the latest economic report suggests that's not happening. Should Americans be braced for an economic comeback that is going to take not months, but a year or more? You have 2 minutes to answer uninterrupted.
When President Trump and I took office, America had gone through the slowest economic recovery since the Great Depression. So when Joe Biden was vice president, they tried to tax and spend and regulate and bail our way back to a growing economy. President Trump cut taxes across the board. Despite what Senator Harris says, the average American family of four had $2,000 in savings and taxes. And with the rise in wages that occurred, most predominantly for blue-collar, hardworking Americans, the average household income for a family of four increased by $4,000 following President Trump's tax cuts. But America, you just heard Senator Harris tell you, on day one, Joe Biden's going to raise your taxes.
Hell yeah.
The things. I mean, right after.
Yeah, you did. You literally did. You literally did.
You just said it.
You literally did. Day one, gonna go away.
Back 11.6 million jobs because we had a president who cut taxes, rolled back regulation, unleashed American energy, fought for free and fair trade, and secured $4 trillion from the Congress of the United States to give direct payments to families, save 50 million jobs through the Paycheck Protection Program.
She just said it.
We've spared no expense to help the American people and the American through this.
Marco
and Kamala Harris.
That on day one,
they want to bury our economy.
Get rid of the tax cut that the president gave,
which you were one of the original co-sponsors of.
Cut. They went away. Guess what happens to the
and ban fracking, which would cost hundreds of thousands of jobs all across the heartland. And Joe Biden wants to go back to
exactly right, Cruz.
China. That when we took office, half of our international trade deficit was with China alone. And Joe Biden wants to repeal all of the tariffs that President Trump put into effect to fight for American jobs and American workers. Joe Biden says democracy's on the ballot. Make no mistake about it, Susan. The American economy, the American comeback is on the ballot with 4 more years of growth and opportunity, 4 more years of President Donald Trump. 2021 is going to be the biggest economic year in the history of this country.
Thank you, Vice President Pence. Senator Harris.
Well, I mean, I thought we saw enough of it in last week's debate, but I think this is supposed to be based on and the truth and the fact is Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year.
You aren't.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well,
I'm speaking.
The important is you said the truth. Joe Biden said in the debate last week that he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. That was tax cuts that gave the average working family $2,000 in a tax break every single year.
That is absolutely not true.
Is he only going to repeal part of the Trump tax cuts?
If you don't mind letting me finish, we can have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah,
will not raise taxes on anyone who makes less
that's how you
a year. He has been
calmly interrupt someone.
Biden will not end fracking. He has been very clear about it. Joe Biden is the one who, during the Great Recession, was responsible for the Recovery Act that brought America back. And now the Trump
No, Sharky, we can't do that. That'd be me.
credit when they rode the coattails of Joe Biden's success for the economy that they had at the beginning of their term. Of course,
I didn't expect this.
Joe Biden, on the one hand, did that. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who has reigned over a recession that is being compared to the Great Depression. On the one hand, you have Joe Biden, who was responsible with President Barack Obama for the Affordable Care Act, which brought health care to over 20 million Americans and protected people with pre-existing conditions. And what it also did is it saved those families who otherwise were going bankrupt because of hospital bills they could not afford. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who's in court right now, trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which means that you will lose protections if you have pre-existing conditions. And this is very important, Susan.
Yes.
And it's
we need to get.
I just like that he interrupted me.
I know, right, Erasmo? ¿Cómo estás?
Please.
Digo, you want to come on, Erasmo?
Pre-existing condition, heart disease, diabetes, breast cancer, they're coming for you. If you love someone who has a pre-existing condition, if you are under the age of 26 on your parents' coverage, they're coming for you.
Senator Harris, thank you. Let me give you a chance to respond.
Well, I hope we have a chance to talk about health care because Obamacare was a disaster. The American people remember it well. President Trump and I have a plan to improve health care and to protect pre-existing conditions for every American. Senator Harris, you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. You running for president, that you would ban fracking.
Yeah, write that down, Tom.
Mic drop.
Order in the eye, pointed and said, I guarantee that we will abolish fossil fuels. They have a $2 trillion version of the Green New Deal that your newspaper, USA Today, said really wasn't that very different from the original Green New Deal. More taxes, more regulation, banning fracking, abolishing fossil fuel, crushing American energy, and economic surrender to China is a prescription for economic decline. President Trump and I will keep America growing. The V-shaped recovery that's underway right now will continue with 4 more years of President Donald Trump.
Thank you very, very much, Vice President Pence. Once again, you've provided the perfect segue to a new topic, which is climate change.
Again, that's like the 35th thing on the freaking totem pole of topics.
Record-setting hurricane in the south. Another one, Hurricane Delta, is now threatening the Gulf. And we have seen record-setting wildfires in the west. Do you believe, as the scientific community has
why are we talking about, like, seriously, guys, there's more important issues or global warming,
more deadly, and have made hurricanes wetter, slower, and more damaging?
Next we're going to talk about racism, probably.
Thank you, Susan. Well, first, I'm very proud of our record on the environment and on conservation. According to all of the best estimates, our air and land are cleaner than any time ever recorded. Our water is among the cleanest in the world. And just a little while ago, the president signed the Outdoors Act. It's the largest investment in our public lands and public parks in 100 years. So President Trump has made a commitment to conservation and to the environment. Now, with regard to climate change, the climate is changing. The issue is, what's the cause and what do we do about it? President Trump has made it clear that we're going to continue to look at science.
Oh, come on.
Now,
It's fun
Joe
a little
Biden
bit.
and Kamala Harris would put us back in the Paris Climate Accord. They'd impose the
always not fun. What's not supposed to be fun? Sorry, I'm looking down, reading, and listening.
Energy costs of American families in their homes and literally would crush American jobs. And President Trump and I believe that the progress
wetter, Joe,
in a cleaner environment has been happening precisely because we have a strong free market economy.
I think it's fun with my reaction sometimes.
The United States has reduced CO2 more than the countries that are still in the Paris Climate Accord, but we've done it through innovation and through natural gas and fracking, which, Senator, the American people can go look at the record. I know Joe Biden says otherwise now, as you do, but the both of you are committed to abolishing fossil fuel fracking. And so creating the kind of American innovation, we're actually steering toward a stronger and better environment. With regard to wildfires, President Trump and I has to be front and center, and even Governor Gavin Newsom.
Where would you send it though, Maria?
Forest management. And with regard to hurricanes, the national
ocean is dirty.
As difficult as they are.
Thank you, Vice President.
There are no more hurricanes today than there were 100 years ago.
Thank you.
But many of the climate alarmists use hurricanes and wildfires to try and sell the bill of goods of a Green New Deal. And President Trump and I are going to always put American jobs and American workers first.
Senator Harris, as Vice President,
All
you
right.
co-sponsored.
Good answer. Good answer.
Oklahoma, how so?
Vice President Biden said in last week's debate that he does not support.
I'm genuinely interested, Maria.
But if you
Where's
look
the
at
evidence of that?
Biden-Harris campaign website, it describes the Green New Deal as a crucial framework. What exactly would be the stance of a Biden-Harris administration toward the Green New Deal? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Sure. So first of all, I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact. That is a fact. I will repeat, Joe Biden has been very clear that he thinks about growing jobs, which is why he will not increase taxes for anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year. Joe Biden's economic plan, Moody's, which is a reputable Wall Street firm, has said will create 7 million more jobs than Donald Trump. And part of those jobs that will be created by Joe Biden.
Fracking.
Oh, okay.
Clean energy and renewable energy. Because you see, Joe understands that the west coast of our country is burning, including my home state of California. Joe sees what is happening on the Gulf states, which are being battered by storms. Joe has seen and talked with the farmers in Iowa, whose entire crops have been destroyed because of floods.
It's hurricane season.
And so Joe believes, again, in science. I'll tell you something, Susan. I served, when I first got to the Senate, on the committee that's responsible for the environment. Do you know this administration took the word science off the website and then took the phrase climate change off the website? We have seen a pattern with this administration, which is they don't believe in science. And Joe's plan is about saying we're going to deal with it.
We should have made science a drinking word.
Donald Trump, when asked about the wildfires in California, and the question was, the science is telling us this. You know what Donald Trump said? Science doesn't know. So let's talk about who is prepared to lead our country over the course of the next 4 years on what is an existential threat to us as human beings. Joe is about saying we're going to invest that in renewable energy. It's going to be about the creation of millions of jobs. We will achieve net zero emissions by 2050, carbon neutral by 2035. Joe has a plan. This has been a lot of talk from the Trump administration, and really it has been to go backwards instead of forward. We will also re-enter the climate agreement with pride.
What's Joe's plan?
Maria de la Carmen.
Threat.
Joe's plan is don't die.
The climate change poses an existential threat.
As I said, Susan, the climate is changing. We'll follow the science. But once again, Senator Harris is denying the fact that they're going to raise taxes on every American. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week that on day one, he was going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. Those tax cuts delivered $2,000 in tax relief to the average family of four across America. And with regard to banning fracking, I just recommend that people look at the record. You yourself said repeatedly that you would ban fracking. You were the first Senate co-sponsor of the Green New Deal. And while Joe Biden denied the Green New Deal, Susan, thank you for pointing out, the Green New Deal is on their campaign website. Say Today said it's essentially the same plan as you co-sponsored with AOC when she submitted it in the Senate. And you say that she's going to resubmit America to the Paris Climate Accord.
Don't roll your eyes. Come on.
The American people have always cherished our environment. We'll continue to cherish it. We've made great progress reducing CO2 emissions through American innovation and
I think it's more
gas through
La Nina or El Nino effect.
Massive
we're like
$2 trillion green.
That could be why we're seeing it. I don't really think it has to do with climate change.
In American families.
Thank you.
Joe Biden wants us to retrofit 4 million American business buildings It makes no sense. It will cost jobs. President Trump
Thank
is
you,
going to
Vice
put
President.
America first. He's going to put jobs
Oklahoma?
first. And we're going to take
Or
our environment and follow the science.
Thank you, Vice
you
Yeah,
know,
I really do think it's a switchover because I think about last month they,
the
the NOAA
as part of
announced that we're now in this other effect. And usually when that switch
trade
off,
war with China.
good stuff happens.
You lost that trade war. You
But
lost.
I'm not a
What ended up happening?
biologist or a chemist or a
Because of a
meteorologist.
so-called trade war with China,
Not a scientist.
America lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs. Farmers have experienced bankruptcy because of it. We are in a manufacturing recession because of it. And when we look at where this administration has been, there are estimates that by the end of the term of this administration, they will have lost more jobs than almost any other presidential administration. And the American people know what I'm talking about. You know, I think about 20-year-olds. You know, we have a 20-year-old, 20-something-year-old who are coming out of high school and college right now, and you're wondering, is there going to be a
I'm
job?
sorry.
We're looking at people who are
It
trying
sometimes
to figure
depends
out
on what we're doing, and it also could be that Manny
almost half of American
when he talks interrupts. Sorry.
whether they're going to be able to pay
It's
rent.
that bad. I'm hard of hearing, and I'm not
Where the economy is in America right now, and it is because of the catastrophe and the failure of leadership of this administration.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me give you just 15 seconds to respond because then I want to move on.
She said 20-year-olds coming out of high school.
The trade war with China. Joe Biden never fought it.
He didn't she?
Joe Biden has been a cheerleader for communist China through over the last several decades. And again, Senator Harris, you're entitled to your opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. When Joe Biden was vice president, we lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs, and President Obama said they were never coming back. He said we needed a magic wand to bring them back. In our first 3 years after we cut taxes, rolled back regulation, unleashed American energy, this administration saw 500,000 manufacturing jobs created. And that's exactly the kind of growth we're going to continue to see as we bring our nation through this pandemic. The Green New Deal.
You gave her 15 seconds. How the heck is she supposed to answer?
Is it just me or is he getting cut off like quite a lot?
I just need to respond very briefly.
15 seconds. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you give her 15 seconds. You wanted to move on. Your
Is
mind.
responsible for saving America's auto industry, and you voted against it. So let's set the record straight. Thank you.
I'd like to talk about China. We have as our next topic.
Reminds me of the lawyer from My Cousin Vinny.
Foreign relationship than the one with China. It is a huge market for American agricultural goods. It's a partner in the climate change in North Korea. Tonight, President Trump
He is being cut off a lot. I know that.
saying
A lot.
China will pay. Vice President Pence, how would you describe our fundamental relationship with China? Competitors, adversaries, enemies? You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Susan.
The media, by the way, on Twitter are going like, he's interrupted her. He's so mean. He's so mean.
You know,
Listen.
This is me.
Have to cost literally thousands of American factories to close. We saw automotive jobs go south of the border. President Trump fought to renegotiate NAFTA. And the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement is now the law of the land. American people deserve to know Senator Kamala Harris was one of only 10 members of the Senate to vote against the USMCA. It was a huge win for American auto workers. It was a
president just tweeted his first tweet,
especially dairy in the upper Midwest. But Senator, you said it didn't go far enough on climate change. That you put it
in a private chat.
Environmental agenda ahead.
Oh no, it's okay.
Of workers and ahead of Americans.
Just giving you a count.
The American people deserve to know that. It's probably why Newsweek magazine said that Kamala Harris was the most liberal member of the United States Senate in 2019. More liberal than Bernie Sanders, more liberal than any of the others in the United States Senate. So now with regard to China, Susan, first and foremost, China is to blame for the coronavirus. And President Trump is not happy about it. He's made that very clear, made it clear again today. And China and the World Health Organization did not play straight with the American people. They did not let our personnel into China to get information on the coronavirus until the middle of February. Fortunately, President Trump, in dealing with China from the outset of this administration, standing up to China that had been taking advantage of America for decades in the wake of Joe Biden's cheerleading for China, President Trump made that decision before the end of January to suspend all travel from China. And again, the American people deserve to know Joe Biden opposed President Trump's decision to suspend all travel from China. He said it was hysterical. He said it was
Thank you, Vice President
xenophobic.
Pence.
But President Trump has
Vice President
stood
Pence,
up
your
to
time is
China.
up.
We're going to continue to stand strong.
Thank you, Vice President Pence.
We want to improve the relationship, but we're going to level the playing field, and we're going to hold
Vice President
China
Pence.
accountable for what they did to America with the coronavirus.
Thank you. Senator Harris, let me ask you the same question that I asked the Vice President. How would you describe our fundamental relationship with China? Are we competitors, adversaries, enemies? You'll have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Susan, the Trump administration's perspective and approach to China has resulted in the loss of American lives, American jobs, and America's standing. There's a weird obsession that President Trump has had with getting rid of whatever accomplishment was achieved by President Obama and Vice President Biden. For example, they created within the White House an office that basically was responsible for monitoring pandemics. They got away, they got rid of it.
Not true.
There was a team of disease experts that President Obama and Vice President Biden dispatched to China to monitor what is now predictable and what might happen. They pulled them out.
No, I'm more like this.
At 210,000 Americans who have lost their lives. Let's look at the job situation. We mentioned before the trade deal,
Rest in peace, Mariana.
war, they wanted to call it, with China. It resulted in the loss of over 300 manufacturing jobs and a manufacturing recession, and the American consumer paying thousands of dollars more for goods.
Whatever
because
floats
of
your
that
boat.
failed
It's not right. But
war that they called it. Then let's talk about standing. Pew, a reputable research firm,
Me too. I'm just
done an analysis that shows that leaders
non-alcoholic drinker
of countries have now decided that they hold in greater esteem and respect Xi Jinping, the head of the Chinese Communist Party, than they do Donald Trump, the president of the United States, the commander-in-chief of the United States. This is where we are today because of a failure of leadership by this administration.
Senator Harris, we've seen changes in the role of the United States in terms of global leadership over the past 4 years. And of course, times do change. What's your definition? We've seen strains with China, as the Vice President mentioned. We've seen strains with our traditional allies in NATO and elsewhere. What is your definition of the role of American leadership in 2020?
So, Joe I love talking with Joe about a lot of these issues. And, Joe, he says, foreign policy, it might sound complicated, but really it's relationships. So just think about it as relationships. And so
how
we know
have your relationships gone?
relationships. You got to keep your word to your friends. Got to be loyal to your friends.
We're gonna go there?
You got to stand with them. You got to know who your adversaries are and keep them in check. But what we have seen,
I find it this more quite frankly, informative.
Our friends and embraced dictators of the world. Let's take, for example, Russia.
Oh.
So, Russia. I serve on the Intelligence Committee of the United States Senate.
Don't share this information.
The intelligence community told us.
Shocking. She's on the
Intelligence election of the President of the United States in 2016 and is playing in 2020. Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, said the same. But Donald Trump, the commander-in-chief of the United States of America, prefers to take the word of Vladimir Putin.
I think he was busy too busy listening about the Trump, quite frankly.
You look at our friends in NATO. He has walked away from agreements. You can look at the Iran nuclear deal, which now has put us
He
in
would not be a good Secretary of State, Elvela, according to Kamala Harris.
what might end up being a significant nuclear arsenal. We were in that deal, guys. We were in the Iran nuclear
That Pence is actually
around the country.
calm and good at interrupting without being as annoying as President Trump. I learned that today.
Policy, coupled with his isolationism, he pulled us out and has made America less safe. It's about relationships. And the thing that has been part of the strength of our nation, in addition to our great military, has been that we keep our word. But Donald Trump doesn't understand that because he doesn't understand what it means to be honest.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me give you a chance to respond.
Well, thank you. Well, President Trump kept his word when we moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, the capital of the state of Israel. When Joe Biden was vice president, they promised to do that, and they never did. We stood strong with our allies, but we've been demanding. NATO is now contributing more to our common defense than ever before, thanks to President Trump's leadership. We've strengthened our alliances across the Asia Pacific, and we've stood strong.
A senator
would do us harm.
Not intelligence, I'll tell you that much.
ISIS had captured an area of the Middle East the size of Pennsylvania. But President Trump unleashed the American military.
Ay, Maria.
Forces destroyed the ISIS caliphate and took down their leader al-Baghdadi without one American casualty. Al-Baghdadi was responsible for the death of thousands.
I'm surprised he's not bringing up the peace deals. And
the parents of which are here with us tonight in Salt Lake City. Today, two of the ISIS killers responsible for Kayla Mueller's murder were brought to justice in the United States. Jihadi John was killed on the battlefield along with the other beetle. The reality is that when Joe Biden was vice president, we had an opportunity to save Kayla Mueller. It breaks my heart to reflect on it, but the military came into the Oval Office, presented a plan. They said they knew where Kayla was. Baghdadi had held her for 18 months, abused her mercilessly before they killed her. But when Joe Biden was vice president, they hesitated for a month. And when armed forces finally went in, it was clear she'd been moved 2 days earlier. And her family says with the heart of every American that if President Donald Trump had been president, they believe Kayla would be alive today.
Thank you, Vice President.
We destroyed the ISIS caliphate. And you talk about re-entering the Iran nuclear deal. I mean, the last administration transferred $1.8 billion to the leading
states. It's a little bit too long and it's hard.
President
and it's not his fault. A little bit quicker.
And when Qasem Soleimani was traveling to Baghdad, harm to Americans, President Donald Trump took
Thank you,
it
Vice
out.
President Pence.
And America is safer. Our allies are safer. And the American people know President Donald Trump will never
Thank you, Vice President
take
Pence.
action.
I would like to give Senator Harris a chance to respond, but not at such great length because, of course, there are other topics we want to talk about.
But I would like equal
Yeah,
time.
we're already almost an hour in, which is amazing.
First of all, to the Newton family, I know about your daughter's case, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What happened to her is awful, and it should have never happened.
Anybody sense their sincerity there?
Who feels the same way? And I know that President Obama feels the same way.
She's a fake. You know what?
No, he doesn't.
You mentioned Soleimani. Let's start there. So after
Susan,
there was a counter strike on our troops in Iraq, and they suffered serious brain injuries. And do you know what Donald Trump dismissed them as? Headaches. And this is about a pattern of Donald Trump's, where he has referred.
Do we got to keep watching this?
Our men.
Yes, we do, Manny.
She's so full of you know what.
Donald Trump, who went to Arlington Cemetery and stood above the graves of our fallen heroes and said, what's in it for them? Because, of course, you know, he only thinks about what's in it for him. Let's take what he said about John McCain, a great American hero. And Donald Trump says he doesn't deserve to be called.
I'm hoping people are doing that. And showing that he's actually doing
very important.
That's
who is the current commander?
Because the media is already going nuts
They
on
don't
Twitter
care
and
about.
social media.
public
Get up! You keep talking and talking and talking.
bounties on the heads of American soldiers. And you know what a bounty is?
No.
Somebody
Explain
puts
it
a
to
price
us.
on your head and they will pay it if you are killed. And Donald Trump had talked at least 6 times to Vladimir Putin and never brought up the subject. Joe Biden would never do that.
Questionable intelligence. You don't believe that the intelligence is accurate, and you're on the intelligence committee, Kamala Harris.
To our nation's security or to our troops.
You're lying to the American people right now, and they're not going to probably believe you because, well,
democracy and our safety.
Thank you, Senator Harris. This is such an important issue, but we have other important issues as well. And I want to make sure we have a chance.
I really have
For
to
real.
respond to that.
For real.
She has
15 seconds because
Well, I got-
trying to keep.
Look.
I'm sorry, Vice President, but you've had more time than she's had so far.
Slanders against
No, he doesn't.
Trump regarding men and women of our armed forces are absurd.
I'm sorry, Vice
My
President.
son is
Pence.
a captain in the United
Yes.
States Marine Corps. My son-in-law is deployed in the United States Navy. I can assure all of you, with sons and daughters serving in our military, President Donald Trump not only respects but reveres all of those who serve in our armed forces, and any suggestion.
I don't know what
otherwise
debate
is
you're
ridiculous.
watching. Get a go to
But
but
thank you,
also
Vice
say
President Pence.
that
Vice
the
President
American
Pence,
people
you know,
deserve, Susan,
Vice
the American
President
people
Pence,
deserve
I
to
didn't,
know.
I don't think so.
excuse me,
Susan, the
I did
American
not
people
create
deserve
the
to know.
rules for tonight.
Joe Biden.
Your campaigns agreed to the rules for tonight's debate with the Commission on Presidential Debates.
you're
I'm here
literally saying, you give 15 seconds, they kept talking.
one topic to another, equal time to both of you, which is what I'm trying very hard to
Go
do.
right ahead.
So I want to go ahead and move to
I don't,
the
have I said lying?
important one,
It's
as-
Manny saying it, not me.
and that is the Supreme
I'm
Court.
thinking anyway.
On Monday, the Senate Judiciary Committee is scheduled to open hearings on Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Supreme Court. Senator Harris, you'll be there as a member of the committee. Her confirmation would cement the court's conservative majority and make it likely open to more abortion restrictions, even to overturning the landmark Roe v. Wade ruling.
Sir, you know this for a fact now? You can read the mind?
Vice President Pence, you're the former governor of Indiana. If Roe v. Wade is overturned, what would you want Indiana to do? Would you want your home state to ban all abortions? You have 2 minutes, uninterrupted.
Well, thank you for the question, but I'll use a little bit of my time to respond to that very important issue before. The American people deserve to know Qasem Soleimani, the Iranian general, was responsible for the death of hundreds of service members. When the opportunity came, we saw him headed to Baghdad to kill more Americans. President Trump didn't hesitate, and Qasem Soleimani is gone. But you deserve to know that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris actually criticized the decision to take out Qasem Soleimani. It's really inexplicable, but with regard to Joe Biden, it's explainable. Because history records that Joe Biden actually opposed the raid against Osama bin Laden. It's absolutely essential that we have a commander-in-chief who will not hesitate to act to protect American lives and to protect American service members, and that's what you have in President Donald Trump.
Those are the rules, apparently.
To the
a new topic.
Let me say, President Trump and I could not be more enthusiastic.
Then they can interrupt the heck out of each other.
We need to see Judge Amy Coney Barrett become Justice Amy Coney Barrett. She's a brilliant woman, and
he's not going to get a chance to answer.
Experience and
He's trying to stall by not answering the question. It's what you do, and you don't want to answer a question.
in the hearing next week, unlike
I
just
agree with it, but that's what you do.
treatment from you and others. But we hope she gets a fair hearing. And we particularly hope that we don't see the kind of attacks on her Christian faith that we saw before. I mean, the Democrat chairman of the Judiciary Committee before, when Judge Barrett was being confirmed for the Court of Appeals, expressed concern that the dogma of her faith lived loudly in her. I think Durbin of Illinois said that it was a concern. Senator, I know one of our judicial nominees, you actually...
Personally, I think Mike Pence is doing better than I thought he would.
Just because...
George, send beer.
Thank you.
Pence is on top of his game.
When the hearing takes
With facts.
Thank you, Vice President Pence.
Judge Amy Coney Barrett will be respected.
Thank you,
treated
Vice President
respectfully, voted and confirmed to the Supreme Court.
Yay!
You're the senator from and former Attorney General of California. So let me ask you a parallel question to the one I posed to the Vice President. If Roe v. Wade is overturned, what would you want California to do? Would you want your home state to enact no restrictions on access to abortion? And you have.
Ooh.
Thank you, Susan. First of all, Joe Biden and I are both people of faith, and it's insulting to suggest that we would knock anyone for their faith. And in fact, Joe would be only the second.
Did you say she would?
As president of the United States.
I hate that crappy
issue
smile
of
she
this-
gets on her
Of
face.
this nomination.
You ain't the only one.
As are the majority.
Along with that nasal voice.
We are 27 days before the decision about who will be the next president of the United States. And, you know, before, and when this conversation has come up, you know, it's been about election year or election time. We're literally in an election. Over 4 million people have voted.
Freaking genius.
People are in the process of voting right now. And so Joe has been very clear, as the American people are. Let the American people fill that seat in the White House, and then we'll fill that seat on the United States Supreme Court. And to your point, Susan, the issues before us couldn't be more serious. There's the issue of choice, and I will always fight.
Anybody complain about her not answering the question?
Her own body. It should be her decision and not that of Donald Trump and the Vice President, Michael Pence.
There it
but let's
is.
also look at what else is before the court. It's the Affordable Care Act. Like literally
Back
in
to
the
that.
midst of a public health pandemic, when over 210,000 people have died and 7 million people probably have what will be in the future considered a pre-existing condition because you contracted the virus. Donald Trump is in court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And I said it before, and it bears repeating. This means that there will be no more protections if they win for people with pre-existing conditions. This means that over 20 million people will lose your coverage. It means that if you're under the age of 26, you can't stay on your parents' coverage anymore.
She be mad.
The contrast couldn't be more clear. They're trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. Joe Biden is saying, let's expand coverage. Let's give you a choice of a public option or private coverage. Let's bring down premiums.
Thank you, Senator
Let's
Harris.
lower Medicare eligibility to 60.
Thank you, Senator.
That's true leadership.
You know, you mentioned earlier, Vice President Pence, that the president was committed to maintaining protections for people with pre-existing conditions. But you do have this court case that you are supporting, your administration supporting, that would strike down the Affordable Care Act. The president says, President Trump says that he's going to protect people with pre-existing conditions, but he has not explained how he would do that. And that was one of the toughest nuts to crack when they were passing the Affordable Care Act. So tell us specifically, how would your administration protect Americans with pre-existing conditions have access to affordable insurance if the Affordable Care Act is struck down?
Well, thank you, Susan. But let me just say, addressing your very first question,
Yep.
I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. I'm pro-life. I don't apologize for it. And this is another one of those cases where there's such a dramatic contrast. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris support taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. Late-term abortion. They want to increase funding to Planned Parenthood of America. Now, for our part, I would never presume how Judge Amy Coney Barrett would rule on the Supreme Court of the United States, but we'll continue to stand strong for the right to life. When you speak about the Supreme Court, though, I think the American people really deserve an answer, Senator Harris. Are you and Joe Biden going to pack the court if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed? I mean, there have been 29 vacancies on the Supreme Court during presidential election years, from George Washington to Barack Obama. Presidents have nominated in all 29 cases. But your party is actually openly advocating adding seats to the Supreme Court, which has had 9 seats for 150 years, if you don't get your way. This is a classic case of if you can't win by the rules, you're going to change the rules. Now, you've refused to answer the question. Joe Biden has refused to answer the question. So I think the American people would really like to know, if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed with the Supreme Court of the United States, are you and Joe Biden, if somehow you win this election, going to pack the Supreme Court together?
Veronica.
I'm so glad we went through a little history lesson. Let's do that a little more. In 1864.
Well, I'd like you to answer the question.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Yeah.
1864. One of the, I think, political heroes, certainly the president, I assume if you also, Mr. Vice President, is Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Lincoln was up for re-election. And it was 27 days before the election. And a seat became open on the United States Supreme Court. Abraham Lincoln's party was in charge not only of the White House, but the Senate. But Honest Abe said it's not the right thing to do. The American people deserve to make the decision about who will be the next president of the United States. And then that person can select who will serve for a lifetime on the highest court of our land. And so Joe and I are very clear. The American people are voting right now, and it should be their decision about who will serve on this most important body for a lifetime.
Thank you, Senator Harris.
People, Susan, are voting right now. They'd like to know if you and Joe Biden are going to pack the Supreme Court if you don't get your way in this nomination.
Let's talk about packing.
You once again gave a non-answer. Joe Biden gave a non-answer.
I'm trying to answer you now.
American people deserve a straight answer. And if you haven't figured it out yet, the straight answer is they are going to pack the Supreme Court if they somehow win this election. Men and women, I got to tell you, people across this country, if you cherish our Supreme Court, if you cherish the separation of powers, you need to reject the Biden-Harris ticket. Come November the 3rd, re-elect President Donald Trump, and we'll stand by that separation of powers in a 9-seat Supreme Court.
Yeah, let's talk about packing the court then. Let's talk about the fact. Yeah, I'm about to. So,
she's so
the
gross.
Trump-Pence administration has been, because I sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Susan, as you mentioned.
That's right.
And I've
Stop stalling.
for lifetime appointments to the federal courts, district courts, courts of appeal.
Yes, we know that. Answer the question.
Purely ideological, people who have been reviewed by legal professional organizations and found to have been not competent are substandard. And do you know that of the 50 people who President Trump appointed to the Court of Appeals for lifetime appointments, not one is black? This
Here
is
we
what
go.
they've been doing. You want to talk about packing a court? Let's have that discussion.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Senator. Let's go on and talk about the issue of racial justice.
I just want the record to reflect she never answered the question. So I think in the next debate, Joe Biden will answer the question. But I think the American people know the answer.
Thank you, Vice President. In March, Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old emergency room technician in Louisville, was shot and killed after police officers executing a search warrant in a narcotics investigation broke into her apartment. The police said they identified themselves. Taylor's boyfriend said he didn't hear them do that. He used a gun registered to him to fire a shot, which wounded an officer. The officers
They shouldn't comment on
to the
that
apartment. They say they were acting
while the
in
case is still
self-defense.
pending.
None of them have been
It's inappropriate.
connection with her death. Senator Harris, in the case of Breonna Taylor, was justice done? You have 2 minutes.
I don't believe so. And I've talked with Breonna's mother, Tamika Palmer, and her family. And her family deserves justice. She was a beautiful young woman. She had as her life goal to become a nurse, and she wanted to become an EMT to first learn what's going on out on the street so she could then become a nurse and save lives. And her life was taken.
They found her dead body in her car a few years ago.
Tragically and violently. And it brings me to
He did?
Yep.
the 8 minutes and 6 seconds that America witnessed.
Didn't Breonna's
During
boyfriend
which
her that
an American man
gun?
was tortured
Yep.
and killed under the knee of an armed, uniformed police officer. And people around our country of every race, of every age, of every gender, perfect strangers to each other, marched shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, fighting for us to finally achieve that ideal of equal justice under law. And I was a part of those peaceful protests.
Peaceful protest.
And I strongly that, first of all, we are never going to
go bricks,
but we always must fight for the fight to achieve our ideals. And that's why Joe Biden and I have said on this subject, look, and I'm a former career prosecutor. I know what I'm talking about. Bad cops are bad for good cops. We need reform of our policing in America and our criminal justice system, which is why Joe and I will immediately ban chokeholds and carotid holds. George Floyd would be alive today if we did that. We will require a national registry for police officers who break the law. We will.
Why did he lie? Because I thought that he had a lot of medication or something.
He had a lot of drugs in his system.
And cash.
So are you sure he would have been alive today?
Marijuana, and we will fund those who have been convicted of marijuana. This is a time for leadership on a tragic issue of unarmed Black people in America.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me pose the same question to you. In the case of Breonna Taylor, was justice done? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Well, our heart breaks for the loss of any innocent American life. And the family of Breonna Taylor has our sympathies. But I trust our justice system, a grand jury that refused the evidence. And it really is remarkable that as a former prosecutor, you would assume that an impaneled grand jury looking at all the evidence got it wrong. But you're entitled to your opinion, Senator. I think, look, with regard to George Floyd, there's no excuse for what happened. Justice will be served. But there's also no excuse for the rioting and looting that followed. I mean, it really is astonishing. Flora Westbrook is with us here tonight in Salt Lake City. Just a few weeks ago, I stood at what used to be her salon. It was burned to the ground by rioters and looters. And Flora is still trying to put her life back together. And I must tell you, this presumption that you hear consistently from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that America is systemically racist, and that, as Joe Biden said, that he believes that law enforcement has an implicit bias against minorities, is a great insult to the men and women who serve in law enforcement.
With a fly on his head.
Who puts on the uniform every day.
He can't even feel it. They're going to make fun of him and say he had like a toupee or something. Better not have coronavirus. We need him to be safe.
Tried to pass a police reform.
Why transfer coronavirus on its little wings?
Democrats. Senator Harris, you got up and walked out of the room.
That's how cool and collected he is. He's not even bothered by the flag.
A bill on the Senate floor that would have provided new accountability, new repeat resources. But we don't have to choose between supporting law enforcement, improving public safety, and supporting our African American neighbors and all of our minorities. Under President Trump's leadership, we'll always stand with law enforcement, and we'll do what we've done from day one, is improve the lives of African Americans.
Thank you, Vice President.
Record unemployment, record investments in education, and the fight for school choice for all of our members.
Thank you, Vice President.
I'd like to respond.
Senator Harris.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President on what it means to enforce the laws of our country. I am the only one on this stage. Personally prosecuted.
A lot of minorities and innocent men.
One on the stage was prosecuted the big banks for taking advantage of America's homeowners. I'm the only one on this stage who prosecuted for-profit colleges for taking advantage of our veterans. And the reality of this is that we are talking about an election in 27 days, where last week, the President of the United States took a debate stage in front of 70 million Americans and refused to condemn white supremacists.
Not true.
And
not true.
It wasn't like he didn't have a chance. He didn't do it, and then he doubled down. And then he said, when pressed, stand back, stand by. And this is a part of a pattern of Donald Trump's. He called Mexicans rapists and criminals.
Oh my God.
He instituted as his first act a Muslim ban. He, on the issue of Charlottesville, where people were peacefully protesting the need for racial justice, where a young woman was killed. And on the other side, there were neo-Nazis carrying tiki torches, shouting racial epithets, anti-Semitic slurs. And Donald Trump, when asked about it, said, there were fine people on both sides.
Out of
This is who
context.
we have as the president of the United States. And America, you deserve better.
As usual.
Joe Biden will be a president who brings our country together
Senator Harris.
and recognizes the beauty
Justice, racial justice.
the fact that we all have so much more in common than what separates us.
Vice President Pence, let me give you a minute to respond.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that very much. You know, I think this is one of the things that makes people dislike the media so much in this country, Susan, is that you selectively edit, just like Senator Harris did, comments that President Trump and I and others on our side of the aisle make. I mean, Senator Harris conveniently omitted after the president made comments about people on either side of the debate over monuments, he condemned the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists, and has done so repeatedly. You're concerned that he doesn't condemn neo-Nazis. President Trump has Jewish grandchildren. His daughter and son-in-law are Jewish. This is a president who respects and cherishes all of the American people. But you talk about having personally prosecuted. I'm glad you brought up your record, Senator.
Thank you.
There we go.
I really need to make this point. When you were DA in San Francisco, when you left office, African Americans were 19 times more likely to be prosecuted for minor drug offenses than whites and Hispanics. You increased the disproportionate incarceration of blacks in California. You did nothing in California. You didn't lift a finger to pass the First Step Back on Capitol Hill. I mean, the reality is, President Trump and I have fought for criminal justice reform.
Thank you, Vice President.
We fought for educational choice and opportunities for
You're
everyone.
making her look bad. Stop, President.
And we'll do it for 4
Thank you. You know, there's a important issue than the final issue that we're going to talk about tonight, and that is the issue of the election.
But
He went there.
He attacked my record. I would like an opportunity to respond.
Let me
No,
seconds.
on your record.
Yeah, he didn't let him respond when you went after Trump's record
First of all,
on the
having served as the Attorney General of the state of California, the work that I did is a model of what our nation needs to do, and we will be able to do under a Joe Biden presidency. Our model includes what this administration has failed to do. It will be about not only instituting a ban on chokeholds and carotid holds.
Thank you.
Not only.
Thank you, Senator.
I would like to go through.
These are points that you made earlier in the hour, and I want to talk about the election itself before we
Oh, wow.
And I will do in my record.
Wow.
I was the first statewide officer to
there-
institute
Let her dig her own grave.
my agents would wear body cameras and keep them on full time. We were the first to initiate a requirement that there would be a training for law enforcement on implicit bias because, yes, Joe Biden and I recognize that implicit bias does exist, Mr. Vice President, contrary to what you may believe. We did the work of instituting reforms that were about investing in reentry. This is the work that we have done and the work we will do going forward. And again, I will not be lectured by the Vice President on our record of what we have done in terms of law enforcement and keeping our communities safe and a commitment to reforming the criminal justice system of America.
Thank you, Senator Harris. And I'd like to pose I'd like you to respond first to the question on our final topic, the election itself. President Trump has several times refused to commit himself to a peaceful transfer of power after the election.
Oh, what BS.
And President Trump refuses to accept a peaceful transfer of power. What steps would you and Vice President Biden then take? What would happen next? You have 2 minutes.
So I'll tell you, Joe and I are, I think, particularly proud of the coalition that we've built around our campaign. We probably have one of the broadest coalitions of folks that you've ever seen in a presidential race. Of course, we have the support of Democrats, but also independents and Republicans. In fact, 7 members of President George W. Bush's cabinet are supporting our ticket. We have the support of Colin Powell, Cindy McCain, John Kasich, over 500 generals, retired generals, and former national security experts and advisors are supporting our campaign. And I believe they are doing that because they know that Joe Biden has a deep, deep-seated commitment to fight for our democracy, and to fight for the integrity of our democracy and to bring integrity back to the White House. And so we believe in the American people. We believe in our democracy. And here's what I'd like to say to everybody. Vote. Please vote. Vote early. Come up with a plan to vote. Go to iwillvote.com. You can also go to joebiden.com. We have...
You can go to antifa.com and go to joebiden.com.
Yeah.
It is in the same place.
What will be the course of our country.
It's in the same place too.
And it is within our power. And if we use our vote and we use our voice, we will win. And we will not let anyone subvert our democracy with what Donald Trump has been doing.
We have a republic, lady, not a democracy.
When again, in front of 70 million people, he openly attempted to suppress the vote. Joe Biden, on the other hand, on that same debate stage, because clearly Donald Trump doesn't think he can run on a record because it's a failure.
I was taken aback by some of my never Trump Republican friends.
So I'll repeat what Joe said.
Apparently, Pence is being sexist.
President Trump has several times to
And I'm pretty sure, Josh, you know exactly what never Trump I'm talking about. Would say
If
that.
President Biden
Sorry, Roman, I'm having trouble hearing you over the
transfer power,
the debate.
Never Trumpers are saying she's being sexist, that he's being sexist to her.
Oh.
You know which never Trumper I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because while Joe Biden rattle off a long litany of establishment in Washington, D.C., an establishment that Joe Biden's been a part of for 40 years.
I hear a TV in the background. Who's that?
It's a movement of everyday Americans from every walk of life.
responsibility.
I have every confidence.
Background?
Americans,
There's a TV in the background. It's very loud.
they see this president's record, rebuild our military.
Cruz, do you have a TV in the background, Josh?
Through tax cuts and rolling back regulation, fighting for free trade, unleashing American energy. We appointed conservatives to our federal courts at every level. And we stood with the men and women of law every single day. And I think that movement of Americans is only gotten stronger in the last few years.
Manny, just mute everybody.
Of the election. I must tell you, Senator, your party has spent the last 3.5 years trying to overturn the results of the last election. It's amazing. When Joe Biden was vice president of the United States, the FBI actually spied on President Trump and my campaign. I mean, there were documents released this week that the CIA actually made a referral to the FBI documenting that those allegations were coming from the Hillary Clinton campaign. And of course, we've all seen the avalanche, what you put the country through for the better part of 3 years until it was found that there was no obstruction, no collusion, case closed. And then Senator Harris, you and your colleagues in the Congress tried to impeach the president of the United States over a phone call. And now Hillary Clinton has actually said to Joe Biden that in her words, under no circumstances should he concede the election. So let me just say, I think we're going to win this election. President Trump are fighting every day in courthouses to prevent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris from changing the rules and creating this universal mail-in voting that will create a massive opportunity for voter fraud. We have a free and fair election. We know we're going to have confidence in it. And I believe in all my heart that President Donald Trump's going to be reelected for 4 more years.
You know, I've written all the questions that I've asked tonight, but for the final question of the debate, I'd like to read a question that someone else wrote. The Utah Debate Commission asked students in the state to write essays about what they would like to ask you. And I want to close tonight's debate with the question posed by Brecklin Brown. She's an 8th grader at Springville Junior High in Springville, Utah. And here's what she wrote, quote, "When I watch the news, all I see is arguing between Democrats and Republicans. When I watch the news, all I see is citizen fighting against citizen. When I watch the news, all I see are 2 candidates from opposing parties trying to tear each other down. If our leaders can't get along, how are the citizens supposed to get along?" And then she added, "Your examples could make all the difference to bring us together," end quote. So to each of you in turn, I'd like you to take 1 minute and respond to Brecklin. Vice President Pence, you have 1 minute.
Brecklin, it's a wonderful question. And let me just commend you for taking an interest in public life. I started following the news when I was very young. In America, we believe in a free and open exchange of debate, and we celebrate that. It's how we've created literally the freest and most prosperous nation in the history of the world. And I would tell you that don't assume that what you're seeing on your local news networks is synonymous with the American people. You know, I look at the relationship between Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the late justice who we just lost from the Supreme Court, and the late Justice Antonin Scalia. They were on polar opposites on the Supreme Court of the United States, one very liberal, one very conservative. But what's been learned since her passing was the two of them and their families were the very closest of friends. I mean, here in America, we can disagree. We can debate vigorously, as Senator Harris and I have on this stage tonight. But when the debate is over, we come together as Americans. And that's what people do in big cities and small towns all across this country. So I just want to encourage you, Brecklin. I want to tell you that we're going to work every day to have government as good as our people. And the American people each and every day love a good debate. We love a good argument. But we always come together and are always there for one another.
Thank you.
In times of need. And we've especially learned that
Thank you,
through the
Vice President.
difficulties of this year.
Senator Harris, what would you say to Brecklin?
First of all, I love hearing from our young leaders. And when I hear her words, when I hear your words, Brecklin, I know our future is bright because it is that perspective on who we are and who we should be. That is a sign of leadership and it's something we should all aspire to be. And that, you know, that brings me to Joe. Joe Biden, one of the reasons that Joe decided to run for president is after Charlottesville, which we talked about earlier.
Mr.
Joe
Smith.
troubled him and upset him like it did all of us, that there was that kind of hate and division. What propelled Joe to run for president was to see that over the course of the last 4 years, what Brecklin described has been happening. Joe has a long-standing reputation of working across the aisle, working in a bipartisan way. And that's what he's going to do as president. Joe Biden has a history of lifting people up and fighting for their dignity.
He does.
I mean, you have to know Joe's story to know that Joe has known pain, he has known suffering, and he has known love. And so, Brecklin, when you think about the future, I do believe the future is bright. And it will be because of your leadership. And it will be because we fight for each person's voice through their vote. And we get engaged in this election because you have the ability through your work and through eventually your vote.
Thank you,
to determine the future of our country and what its leadership looks like.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Thank you, Vice President Pence. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We want to thank also the University of Utah for its hospitality, and most of all, our thanks to all the Americans who watched this debate tonight. Again, our best wishes for a quick recovery to President Trump, the First Lady, and everyone who is battling COVID-19. The second presidential debate is next week on October 15th, a town hall style debate in Miami. We hope you'll join us then. Good evening.
All right, you can get rid of the video, Manny. You're good.
Hang on, let's see if they shake hands or any of that
No,
crap.
they don't shake hands. I'm actually.
You can't shake hands. It's
I
COVID.
can see it on my TV. So no, they don't shake hands.
They're
on it.
not live.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's his wife. Okay.
After last week, wondering what the
Oh,
tone.
here's her husband.
Yeah. What you think was going to be Manny? Some random person making out with the vice president on
No, I
stage?
thought it was the host that walked over there.
No. Seriously, no. All right, you can turn it off. Seriously, nothing happens. Nothing of note happens. They just stand there and they go away. Cool beans. What's up, guys?
Tonight we
Hey, Myra. Myra is with Latinos for Trump. Josh to my, well, that way. Hey, Josh is with conservative Cameron County Conservatives Facebook page. Cruz below us, and Josh is the precinct chair and Hidalgo County Republican Executive Committee member. And then you all know Manny with the Manny Station. Madi should be coming on at some point. Make sure you remind Madi that we're still on. She might have been traveling home or something. She's also with the Hidalgo County Republican Party. Myra, since you're the last one in with us, what do you think of that debate?
What do I think about the debate? I think that Mike Pence won by simply stating facts, and Kamala didn't have any answers for the facts.
And those of you on Facebook, guys, if you don't mind sharing our feeds, we're going to do the post coverage. Josh, I'd appreciate it. Josh, what do you think overall? And we'll get to specifics.
Can't hear you, Josh. You're on mute.
Sorry, guys. Overall, I think Pence won the debate. He did what he needed to do, which was to support the administration he's been a part of for the last 4 years. And I don't think that Harris did what she needed to do to present anything to lead those who are not decided yet that there needs to be a change.
Hey, Dylan, got it. Cool. Dylan, you're late. It's okay. What did you think of this debate? No worries.
Well, the fly was a nice addition.
You know, there's already a Twitter account.
Well, Pence's pet fly or something. Yeah.
Mike Pence's fly already has 6,421 followers as we speak. Anyway, what else? Sorry.
Looks like I'm having some technical difficulties here.
No worries. You're frozen.
Yeah, I'm frozen.
All right. You want to reboot your thingy? You can. We'll come back to you. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
let me try that.
All right. Cool beans. Cruz, what did you think of the debate?
I think that are you asking for a winner?
Anything you want overall and stuff, and then we'll talk more specifics.
I think that Pence was the winner because she had to go to her talking points a lot, and a lot of those talking points were just outright falsehoods.
Okay, Manny, what did you think of the debate? Oh, now that Dylan's back, let's get it. Dylan, what did you think of that debate?
A lot of deflection again from Harris, as I kind of expected she would. Wouldn't answer the court packing question. Again, with the lies about the losers and suckers of the military, find people on both sides, the whole spiel. It just rehashed nonsense. And I thought Pence did as good a job as he could under the circumstances on trying to counter those as much as a moderator would let him. But I think he got his points across as well as he could.
Cool. Manny?
Yeah, pretty much. Pence, smooth, cool cat, didn't get ruffled, got his points across. Even though his time was up, he didn't care. He just kept on until he couldn't anymore, until they cut him off or whatever. Made all his points. I think Kamala was, like we talked about, she was going to refer back to everything that Dylan just said. You know, even Charlottesville, she went back to that again and just rehashing old stuff, old news, many things out of context that they still push, and they still think if they say it enough, it'll become true at some point. And that's just old news. I don't think it was a contest.
Okay. My immediate thoughts to this debate, and I'm going to ask myself. Sorry about that. I do not have the Rona. Ultimately, I think that Vice President Pence won the debate. I think the annoyance of faces got a little old from Kamala. I'm a little bit. I can tell that he won the debate based off of the reactions from Never Trumpers already saying that Vice President Pence is somehow sexist, and these are shocking they would say this, sexist because he was over speaking and mansplaining to, these are Never Trumper Republicans, okay, mansplaining to Kamala Harris. And you have the mainstream media, you know, the MSNBCers, the CNNers, they're all just, hey, he's talking too long. He's talking too long, and he's interrupting her, and that's just wrong, and that's mean. He was trying to clear his thought, and that's his fault because he's not very concise in how he says it. But ultimately, I don't think it was overbearing like Trump was and how Biden was. Right. And that's just why I think he still won the debate, because his facts were there. And I think there were enough clips there to show that Kamala Harris is just not ready to be the vice president, much less a heartbeat away from the presidency if elected. What was the biggest jaw drop moment? Guys, if you're on or watching this on the live stream, guys, please feel free to comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say and what you think of this particular debate. And your opinions matter to us. And so it may not matter to Fox News and CNN or anybody else that matters to us. So feel free to comment. What was the whoa crap? Hey, wow, jaw drop moment? Oh,
that was my jaw drop moment right there.
You're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. That was your jaw drop.
Mine was when he said the Biden plan. It looks an awful lot like what President Trump has been doing. It looks a little bit like plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little about.
Yeah.
Plagiarism.
But he didn't hammer the plagiarism as much because not everybody remembers from 1988. I do.
No, but he had a lot of moments like that, and it's. Yeah. I like that he brought up those moments.
Yeah, me too. It was a good time. Cruz, what was your?
That's what I was going to say.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dylan?
Well, one of my biggest eye roll moments, I guess, was I'm not going to ban fracking. Biden and her have been all over the place saying, we're going to ban fracking, we're going to ban fracking. And she just straight up says, we're not going to ban fracking. Even though that's what's called for in their platform. That's what they've promised everyone and their uncle that they were going to do. And that's part of the Green New Deal.
That's gold, Jerry. That's gold. Sorry.
Yeah. And fracking is their platform. And they just keep denying it.
All right. You know what, Marco, that's an interesting point. And that's what I was trying to get at earlier. Mike Pence was trying to respond to that really nasty charge because I don't think that Trump hates the military, thinks that they're losers. But Susan Page just would not let him respond. And said 15 seconds, and you kept and it's like, dude, like you're going to give him 15 seconds, don't interrupt him. And then within about less than 15 seconds, it was crappy. What do you think about that, Dylan? You had that issue with the because I interrupted you, so.
Well, and I think everyone just needs to know, like when she said that he stood over the grave and said, what do they get out of it? He was standing next to his former chief of staff. And he was commenting that these soldiers gave it all up, and we don't give them much of anything in return. That was he was in awe that these men and women would just sacrifice everything for the very little that we give them. I just learned the other day, and this surprised me. Our fighter pilots make $50,000 a year. After we spend $1 million plus training them. We put them in charge of $50 million planes, and they make $50,000 a year. That was his point. We pay them nothing, and especially the troops after Vietnam, we gave them nothing but our contempt as a nation. And he was in awe of their sacrifice. It wasn't putting them down. And the fact is, the Atlantic on the losers and suckers had to withdraw it. And they walked it back and said it wasn't accurate. And it was just so distasteful what she was doing.
Yeah. Next.
One of the things that I liked was that Mike Pence invited Kayla Mooner's family to the debate, and he spoke about her. That is one of the stories of solemnized victims, and say their names. And every time I hear her, see her picture, her story just captures me because she went through a lot of suffering before she died and was brutally attacked and raped. And the military had known where she was going to be. They could have saved her, but Obama didn't want to give the order to save her. She could have been saved. So for him to bring it up and not stop and continue talking about it during the debate, that to me is who Mike Pence is. You know, who he's there for, who he defends.
He plagiarized Build Back Better from Boris Johnson. Did he really? Probably did. I don't follow British politics much. He has no support from former brass insiders who know and work with him. You mean the generals who want to get a no star? I think Dylan, you made that comment last week.
Yeah, that's where they're all upset. Their panties are in a wad because Trump won't get us into new wars, and they need us in new wars. That's how they get the advancements. That's how they get the second, third, fourth, fifth star. That's how they do it. No wars, no new star.
Who did I miss? Did I miss somebody on what was your jaw drop moment of the debate? Who did I miss?
Brandon is on.
Hey, Brandon. Oh, sorry, Brandon. Brandon, what was your jaw drop moment? Brandon is. I didn't even introduce Dylan. Dylan is an attorney in San Antonio. You ever get into like criminal civil issues in San Antonio? He's your guy.
Can you hear me?
And Brandon is the former Claiborne County Republican chairman. Yeah, Brandon, we can hear you. What was your jaw drop moment? I think he still has his jaw dropped and he can't really express himself. You're still in awe of Pence's performance, right? Chairman Brandon Gerger. All right, Brandon, I think you're going to have to reboot and try to come back on. That's what I'd recommend, Brandon. Guys, everybody got their jaw drop moment.
Did Josh get his in? I don't remember.
Josh, did you get your jaw drop moment?
Mine was kind of a compilation of what other people said. I think the fact that Pence was able to so effectively show his experience and why the Trump-Pence administration needs to be reelected by showing the data and the facts of what the Biden-Harris ticket has said one thing and is repeatedly doing another. And, he's showing his leadership in the fact that, he's a former congressman from Indiana, and he's also a former governor from Indiana. And so he's showing the American public, especially the independents and undecideds right now, that he has the ability to lead, because for Mike Pence, this just isn't about the current election. This is possibly about being the front runner in 2024. So he's doing a great job of it.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to make mention of, and this is my problem when you and Dylan, you and I were debaters in high school, so we know this, is how difficult was it for us going in as debaters when you're debating a woman or a girl, because we were high school debaters, and knowing that you couldn't necessarily go after her as hard because our judge may not be a professional judge, might be just some volunteer for a debate tournament, not really experienced. How hard was it for us? I mean, you can speak for me. I think we're going to agree. For us to debate a girl, because
that was
I'm getting
years ago. They weren't such wusses back then.
Are you sure?
But the whole idea of mansplaining wasn't a thing. And you were a bunch of high school kids, and that never crossed my mind. Like, I'm going to go easy on this person because it's a girl. Like, no, we all have the same topic. We all have the same abilities, and I would hope you all be able to make the same points. The whole notion of having to talk about mansplaining and going easy on Kamala because she's a woman, we've already had this conversation. Hillary ran for president. She was her nominee 4 years ago. We've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and nobody cares. If you're still trying to use that now, it just means that you don't have anything to back yourself up. So
I'm going to quote my never Trumper friend who I adore.
She had this much support. She had this much support.
Don't do the okay sign, because that's racist. Don't do that. I don't even like Kamala Harris, but this is a woman. I don't even like Kamala Harris, but I see her face and I know it. I've made that face. The vice president is being a sexist and a jerk. It's tacky. The Republican is serious. This Republican, she's a Republican, is seriously turned off. Seriously. By that debate.
Let me find my violin.
There's more of this, and it's just
exactly.
Right there.
Seriously, and then I replied, and this was my reply to them, because I think it's just ridiculous. I want to be as open as possible. My reply, and I've already gotten at least one laugh emoji from her liberal friends, because that's what it is. Really, I couldn't disagree more. This is calm as anybody could be. It's almost like you're saying men can't debate a woman without it being sexist when a male wins a debate. you're a Republican who is not voting for Trump or Pence, of course you're turned off. Am I wrong?
But I mean, it's a whole thing that we want to go back to, like, women want equal rights. Well, I mean, you need to be treated equal if you want equal rights. You don't get to be, oh, you have to be nice to me just because you're debating me. I want the same office as you.
Yeah, and then I got a reply. You give the reply from somebody. Okay. I am a lifetime Republican who is repelled by Trump each and every day.
Liar.
What should I reply? What should I reply to that person?
Liar. No, I'm sorry. Anyone who starts off with, I've been a lifelong Republican, but I want to vote for the social is a liar. They're not Republicans. If they don't know what they are, but most likely they're lying through their teeth. You cannot consider yourself a conservative and say, I want to vote for this 47-year-old washed up senator who's not had an original thought in his head, who's got dementia, who can't tell the truth and won't answer the question about court packing. That's your idea of helping conservatism? Please.
Yep.
Not buying it.
My reply is going to be, it's okay. Yoda makes an appearance. Is that Yoda really? I'm trying to do a little bit of a Cartman. That's just me. It's okay. Vote for the socialist progressive.
You go back and forth between the two, Roman.
I do. Someone vote for the socialist progressive because someone hurts your feelings. There you go.
Yes,
That's
you're
hurting my feelings. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I've been like this for like 24 hours because some of y'all brought this character out, and I didn't even have it before today. So I apologize. No, I don't apologize. I'm a conservative. I don't need to apologize to you. Guys, Myra, do you think that there is any way a true conservative wouldn't be impressed by this performance by Pence and getting the rah-rah, and I want to go now, I really have to make sure that they win because I do not want Kamala Harris one heartbeat away from the presidency?
To me, Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, is the true embodiment of conservatism. I mean, his answer about the pro-life, protecting our country, everything that he showed tonight shows how true of a conservative he is. That's, if you're a conservative, if you're a Republican, that's because I'm first a conservative over a Republican. I'm first a constitutionalist. But if you consider yourself a conservative and you're not voting for Mike Pence or for President Trump because simply you don't like the way Trump speaks, then you might want to rethink your values, because they are voting for your values at the end of the day, and they are protecting our conservative values. And he showed that today. And they've shown it for the past 4 years.
We're earlier in the we talked about in the pregame what we expected out of Mike Pence today. Did we get what you expected out of Mike Pence today? Did you get more or less about
what I expected? I didn't expect him to be so fired up.
Wait,
Mike Pence is fired up. I got more than what I expected.
So that was Pence getting lit up, huh?
I mean, that fly, we were watching the show, that fly. I mean, he just kept going. The fly didn't bother him. It's like, no. Well, I mean, you're not going to feel a fly on your head?
No.
Yeah, that hair was.
You are.
I'm sure there was a ton of hairspray on that hair.
Yeah. Hairspray turned it into a helmet.
Okay, so what do you think? Conservatives, Cruz, are they going to be like, yeah, we got to make sure? What about independents? Do you think independents like, you know what? I'm not so sure that I want her to be the real president because we don't think Biden's going to be the real president for next 4 years.
I think that a true independent that's on the fence probably moved the needle. Pence moved the needle closer to the Trump-Pence team.
Yeah, Mariana. Oh, wait, let me read Mariana's thing.
Man, Myra 2020.
Mike Pence can talk. I believe anyone who runs for office is wanting to protect the American people. It is all about how. You know what? I don't disagree with that statement. I don't. I think in their own way, they all want to. You do?
I'll disagree with that.
Okay.
I'll disagree.
Absolutely.
I disagree.
In Portland, we have a mayor who is far left, who is losing to an Antifa member.
Mm-hmm.
Those
She
people are
was
not out
wearing
to-
a skirt of Mao. She was wearing a skirt that had Mao on her.
Yeah. Any liberal who wears a Che Guevara shirt, unless you're just doing it sarcastically, doesn't have a clue. This is not about protecting the American people. This is about, for them, power. They don't want to. They just want to tear down the system. Anyone who doesn't agree with, they've proved not beyond wiping out your First Amendment. They've promised to do away with your Second. The 10th doesn't seem to matter because they don't care about states' rights. So I would not agree with that statement.
I'm with him because there are people in office that hate our country, and they have our court filled with people that side with them and are. I mean, look at what happened to the couple, and what was it, that the one that protected their property
in Missouri.
Rittenhouse. I'm not even going to mention the other names because I don't want your group to be, you know. But I mean, we have American-loving people, and there are people that are elected that hate our country and want communism in our country. Mm-hmm. They're not in it for the American people, and I've seen it.
So who else doesn't agree with Mariano's comment?
Yeah, I don't agree. I think that at least on the Democrat side and some on the Republican side, see that is their ticket to get rich quick.
You mean the grifters from the Lincoln Project?
It's actually there.
Are you talking about the grifters in the Lincoln Project who are spending allegedly $1 million to try to turn Texas blue because they're proud conservatives, real conservatives? Right. Is that who you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about politicians in general.
Oh, okay.
$120,000 salaries and in about a couple of years have $5 million of net worth.
Oh, you mean like
I wish I could do that.
Joe Biden, who's paid like $3.2 million in taxes. Who the hell pays $3.2 million in taxes? And
somebody who doesn't got a good tax attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, do you agree or disagree with Mariana's comment?
I disagree with it. What about the $2 billion the Biden administration gave to Iran, who's been our sworn enemy since 1979?
All right.
Is that the best interest of the American people? No.
You're Manny the Manny station. I get it, but are you going to be also in disagreement with Mariana's statement?
I want to believe that anybody who does run does have the country at heart, and I think she was speaking at presidency, not necessarily a mayor or governor or something. I could be wrong.
But even in the presidency.
Yeah, I would like to believe whoever does run has the country's interest at heart.
Yeah,
but it's obviously this time around, and
Biden has.
And in the past, look at everything Obama did. And in the past, he didn't have the American people at heart. All he did was divide us.
Yeah,
he played the race card even harder than anybody else. So
can't argue with that.
If I could share a meme on the group, I'd do it. There is a meme going around with Biden telling Hunter, "Don't worry, I got this." And the MSM donkey is next to him, and they're out there doing their thing because that's what he's running for. He is trying to save his family name.
Yeah,
he's trying to make his family rich. This is what he's trying to say.
Kamala, Eddie is saying Kamala is purely driven by political power, like the Castro brothers. Mm-hmm. We have somebody who's an expert on the Castro brothers, since you brought him up, is Dylan, who is a subject of Castro congressman. Huh?
I'm an expert on the Castro brothers, but I do know that.
Well, you're one of his subjects.
I am subjected to his whims, I guess, but he's been rather silent lately. Thank goodness. Not making the news for any reason, good or bad, I guess.
Maria is saying, in a world where we are in a war with terrorists, it's just the time for a woman to be president, the leader of the world. We need a Margaret Thatcher type, and none exists now. Margaret Thatcher was an awesome
Iron Lady.
whether it's a male or female, it's somebody who's got the balls to run the country and to do what's right. I don't care if it's male or female. I don't think Kamala or Joe is that person.
No.
Because they don't have balls, or
Yeah.
Figuratively.
Right now, Hannity is on Fox. Just so you all, I just have it in the background so I can see their cry on. I know I'm just saying it to get it wrong, huh? Senator Harris deflects, denies, and evades during cringe-worthy debate performance. Would you agree with Hannity right now on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He had to deflect. Has to. The record is atrocious.
All right. Maddow. Oh, darn, I missed hers. And CNN has claim fact check. Oh, they have their little fact checker. Daniel Dale. Claim Obama administration left the national stockpile. Come on. Stockpile empty. False. Some supplies were low, but there were over 16,000 working ventilators. But that's somehow false. Do you think that's one of those stupid false things? Stupid fact checkers? It was empty. Some were low, but there were like 16,000 working ventilators. Yeah, okay. So I'd share with you what the mainstream media is talking about right now. Guys,
It really wasn't enough for Cuomo.
Yeah.
You seem to need tens of thousands of them, or people are going to have to die, and we're going to have to make decisions on which one does.
Yep. And then it's like Trump is like, okay, here's 100,000 of them, and most of them are still sitting there somewhere.
Yeah, well, he said, yeah, we have enough. They were sitting in storage.
Yeah.
And we never used any of their field hospitals that they made in New York, right? Did we use any of them?
No. They didn't use the Javits Center. They didn't use the ship, the Comfort. Nothing.
Why? So why not? Why didn't he use them?
Need it. Well, I guess because Cuomo flattened the curve by killing all the old people.
No,
bad but true.
There are a lot of people that passed away from it. I've known people that have passed away from the corona. It's serious. And I think under the situation, they did the best they possibly could. I don't know if if you have the example of Cuomo in New York, he definitely didn't. But for whatever reason, the media think, no, he was peachy keen. He was peachy keen. He was great. He was awesome.
He's got a D after his name.
Of course. But Trump doesn't have a D, and we're going to go after him.
Let me tell you about the reason why Cuomo and other blue state governors, etc., did not want to use the available facilities that the federal government set up, because when patients get put in there, any monies to the state and through the state stop. That would go to the nursing homes, to the hospitals, would continue to flow if those patients stayed within their system. So that would be the
money
why they didn't go to or use those other facilities.
Man, if you got to go, Meyer, it's cool. We'll I don't want you to leave early, but on your trip wherever you go, are you pretty happy tonight after what you saw? Happier tonight than you were maybe last week?
Yes,
I was. I haven't got a reaction from last week either.
No, I had a debate party at my house last week.
Right.
So I saw part of it. I saw the most important part of it for my part, where he spoke about my friends.
Yeah.
So that was really the high point of my night with President Trump. I think President Trump did really good. I mean, that's who he is. And if you go back to the Biden, because a lot of people were saying, well, he shouldn't have overspoke, he shouldn't have interrupted. But if you go back to the Biden and Ryan debate, Biden was nothing but interrupting Ryan. And he was about to do that with Trump, but Trump didn't let it happen. So Trump has to do Trump. And I love that. But I was happy then, and I'm even happier tonight with Mike Pence.
I didn't even see your shirt. Are you wearing the let me see your shirt. I didn't even notice you.
I had to wear it. I had to look for it.
Yeah, you will wear it again next week. Yeah, are you going to be back in time for next week, or are you going to be gone? How long are you going to be gone in your travels?
I leave tomorrow morning. I come back Sunday. It's just I'm going to Ampest. It's where the people that do not go to CPAC because they're too outspoken, we go to AMFAS. They go to AMFAS.
Cool.
So,
All right, so you'll be back in time so we'll see definitely next the presidential debate, the town hall. So wear that shirt.
I will make it. Yeah, I will try to make it because I don't know if we're going to have a debate party again. So I'll try to make it.
Let us know. Cool. All right. Well, be careful on the trip. We'll see.
Bye. Thank you.
All right,
Myra's gone and Madi comes back. Bye,
Madi came back, so you can't blame us. It's not going to be a testosterone week. Madi, what's your impression from the debate? And since you were at headquarters in Hidalgo County for the Republican Party, what was their feelings of this debate? If they saw any of it, and what was your impression of the debate that you saw?
Well, for the ones that were there, they were definitely rooting for Pence. Quite frankly, they didn't like anything that Harris was saying. I personally think that, just being unbiased, I was just seeing a lot of her the technique going back from Biden and Harris. They just really focused a lot on looking at the camera, and to me that was kind of like, wow, they're talking to whoever's watching, and that capture can for some people be a good thing. I saw it as that was part of their strategy, and if it was, then they're doing something effective in that respect. I honestly didn't like her commentary much. I mean, she went in there already wanting to fight, and protect for what reason? I think Pence kept his calm, and I really, really, really enjoyed his. I really enjoyed watching Pence give all of his responses.
MSNBC is currently saying Harris and Pence clash in contentious debate. Do you agree with that statement? That it was a contentious debate? They're also quoting Harris as saying, quote, "They are coming for you," end quote. Harris hits Trump and Pence on pre-existing conditions. So I'll let Madi, since you were talking, what do you agree with that statement? It was
no, it wasn't a clash contentious debate. It was Harris wanting to have attack, her wanting to have a platform, make a platform, or make it seem as though Pence was going to be on the defensive, and that wasn't it. That's not what happened.
Zach is saying the moderator was really, really helping Harris, and I agree with that. Do you feel the same thing that happened last week with the moderator, where Chris Wallace, who has the audacity to actually provide commentary on the post analysis with Fox right now, or was prior to Hannity coming on, that I lost my train of thought. Sorry. That Chris Wallace helped the president. Helped Biden by interrupting the president 76, 79 times during the debate. Do you feel the same thing happened today with the moderator, Susan Page, really helping Harris by not letting Pence answering certain questions and giving softball questions to Harris as opposed to more direct questions to Pence? Dylan?
Yeah, maybe not as, I think last week it was just blatant. I don't know how you get any worse than what Wallace did. This week, a little less so, perhaps.
Yeah.
More subtle.
Much more subtle. But still I'm the moderator and I'm going to enforce the rules of the time. And no one's there to watch you enforce rules, Susan. They're there to watch the debate.
Right?
Pence interrupt you for 5 seconds. Here's another 2 minutes.
Yeah. Like, quiet, Karen.
15 seconds, Pence. 15 seconds.
Yeah. So, it wasn't as bad as last week. I don't know how you could ever possibly top what Chris Wallace did. How did y'all
feel? Sorry to interrupt, Dylan. How did y'all feel when they asked her if a vaccine comes out, would you take the vaccine? What did y'all? How did y'all?
I'd be like, prove that you took it. Prove that you took it.
That response was like no, hell no, I ain't gonna take it. That's what I took from it. It kind of made me laugh.
So she doesn't believe in science, but she wants us to believe in the science of climate change. Okay.
Yeah.
It depends on, she said it depends on who says that the vaccine is ready. If it's the scientist, then she'll take it. If it's Trump.
Wait, what if it's the scientist that she doesn't like?
Yeah, because
Likes versus scientist she doesn't like?
Yeah.
it's like they don't trust Trump because he's in the Oval Office, mixing everything.
Wait, but what if it said scientist approved on the vaccine? What if it
They don't believe all the scientists.
And she'll be like, which scientist?
Well, because that's
are you a certified
Is it like
scientist?
4 out of 5 Guinness approved of crust for your teeth? I mean, what are we talking here?
Yeah, because that was her whole thing, though, was that Trump took off science off of everything in the website, and so he was not believing in science. Anyway,
go back to let me read Kat's comment.
Yeah, by the way, I hated that look on her face, on Kamala's face.
That's why I wanted the split screen because
So
the
annoying.
first, man, I don't mean to interrupt, but the first question when she was on it, if you would have seen the split screen, you would have seen whoa, she's coming out a little strong with it. It seems like Kat is saying, it seems like she was interrupting Pence before his 2-minute mark and would allow Harris to talk far beyond her time. Next comment from Kat, and there was somebody else who made the same comment earlier, and I want to get into that. Kamala's constant smirking didn't help her cause. I agree.
Somebody said they were timing. They were actually timing.
I think it was Elizabeth Pettis, right?
Yeah, and they were clocking Pence at 1:50 seconds, and that's when they would start to cut him off. I wonder if that was like a buffer, kind of allowing for 10 seconds.
No, when you have a debate and you got 2 minutes, there's no buffer. You get a grace period. They let you know, like maybe with hand signals or something. And once you go over, that's when he interrupted her the moment. And I guess she wasn't doing. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but if Kat, you felt the same way. Elizabeth Pettis timed it during the debate. I think that 2 women are smart, and I think that's true. Eddie De Los Santos said, she said if Fauci said okay, she would take it. So only our El Duce, Fauci. That's the only one you agree.
This is the same guy that said we had to wear masks and then said we didn't have to wear masks. And then when he goes to watch a baseball game, he's not wearing a mask. So we're going to believe him.
People around him. Oh, that's right. There were people around him. Oh,
yeah, sitting right next to him within 6 feet.
Yeah,
let's not tear down Fauci just yet. You can still use him for another 3 weeks. Because let's not forget, he said Trump did everything we asked him to do.
Yeah, and so can we blame Fauci for everything that Trump did wrong because he asked him to do it?
Yeah, so if anything went, because Trump's not a virologist or an epidemiologist. He's not making PPE. He's not making tests. He's just going off of what his so-called experts are telling him. And Fauci says, we asked him to do X, Y, and Z. He did X, Y, and Z. Period. Mm-hmm. If you have a problem with it, take it up with Fauci.
Cruz, what do you think? If Fauci said it, will you take it? If Fauci said doesn't take it, you don't take it?
I wouldn't take it no matter what.
Oh, you're not going to take it at all. You're like Kamala. You're even worse than Kamala.
we don't take the flu shot. We're definitely not going to take this.
All right. Okay. All right. Next comment. Anybody else?
The 99.998% survival rate. I think he'll forgo.
What is the next one? Is there a comment or no?
Nope.
No, guys, come on, you guys help us out of here. We want to hear what you have to say. Yeah. So I had asked, was it a clash in contentious debate, Cruz? Was it a contentious debate?
Relatively speaking, no. I think I've seen Pence this elevated, relatively speaking, before. So no, not really. It was a normal Pence debate.
See, I feel like it was a normal debate. What you're expecting, it wasn't like it was what we've always come to know. And for some reason, MSNBC wants to raise this bar that everything is going to be contentious. I don't know if they're doing it in order to frame the narrative that somehow Pence was being sexist to Kamala, like our Never Trumper friend, or if she was just, they feel like she lost. Do you feel they believe that she lost and they're trying to help her? Am I stretching?
No, I think you've got a point there. They're trying to pull her across the line themselves because they know that she didn't make it across the line.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to. Well, I mean, do you think I'm really worried about suburban women, because those are the independents. Do you think that they're going to feel the treatment of Pence, Kamala as being sexist, or are they turned off by the smirks?
No, honestly, any suburban woman who saw Kamala talking today is going to think like, okay, she just made me feel like I'm stupid and I'm dumb and I cannot make a decision as to who is best to serve as vice president, president of the United States. That's what I got from her. It was like, you're too dumb, so let me tell you how you should vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I took from it. I'm from rural America, but I would imagine that's how they would feel too.
Anybody else on my question?
Actually, that's where pollsters are going to. They're going to the suburban woman that voted Republican, and they're taking those polls. And they're not really anti-Trumpers, but they're turned off by Trumpers. They probably vote Trump. So that's where they're coming up with their high Republican, low approval ratings of Trump.
Yeah. Yep. Zach is surprised mansplaining didn't come up. I'm speaking. That was her version of mansplaining in a way, I guess. I'm speaking. I guess that's gonna be the new. Come on, man. Shut up, man. Come on, shut up. Anyway, Josh, you're quiet. What do you think?
I think everybody saw what they needed to see. I think Pence did what he needed to do, which was to be firm but fair. And I think whoever helped design the style of the debate, which was a sit-down debate, was definitely in favor of Pence, because when you're standing up and debating, you seem more on, I don't want to say on edge, but you feel more energy and stuff. And I think by sitting down, it allowed them to feel more relaxed and at ease. And Mike Pence, he gets his points across, but he's soft-spoken naturally. And so I think that helped play to his strengths of not being seen as coming at Kamala hard, but coming at her in a way to where he can effectively show why she's not fit for the office of vice president. So I think whoever negotiated how the debate was going to go definitely set it up for Pence to be seen favorable.
Chris?
Well, speak about sitting down. Let me see if I can ask a question. It may be sexist, but it's a question, I guess, to Madi. Is it painful for a woman to be in heels standing for an hour and a half?
Depends if you're wearing the right heel.
Because maybe that's why they didn't sit down, because they didn't want uncomfortable.
But she wasn't wearing heels.
And most VP debates, I think, are sitting down, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. The last one I can remember being standing, it was the Dan Quayle Lloyd Benson debate of '88. That's really the Fly Vermin Supreme. 24. No, but seriously, I think the last debate I can remember, the vice president's debate standing up, was that one. No, I take it back. The 92 debate with Ross Perot's vice presidential nominee, Admiral, what was his last name?
Stockdale.
What?
Admiral Stockdale.
That one. I'm for real. What was he? What did he do? I think oh gosh, yeah, that was the last one. Now that I can remember, that was the vice presidential debate that was standing.
28 years ago.
Yeah. So now, because I know last time it was, what do you think?
If you're wearing the right heel, it wouldn't hurt. But she wasn't even wearing heels. She was wearing like
flats, right, or almost flat. Yeah.
Manny, can you put back the comment that Eddie made, because I want to read it? Kamala is not likable. She thought she had to explain what in debt meant.
She did that a couple times where she had to explain what this meant or what that meant. It's like, really?
So she was she-splaining?
Yes, she was she-splaining.
No,
condescending, I think is the phrase you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah. Did this debate change any voters' minds, do you think?
I think undecideds and
I hope
independents
so.
probably moved the needle, like Cruz said earlier,
Move the needle where?
towards Pence.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump. Do
Yeah,
they
Trump.
believe,
Yeah.
do you think it's because they believe, okay, yeah, Trump is sort of unlikable and tone, but Vice President Pence is knowledgeable and fair and not going to be rolling her eyes, and we believe that Joe Biden, because that's really been the argument: can we trust Joe Biden's dementia, or can we trust Trump's tone? Ultimately, it's what the tone is for Trump. That's what's keeping independents from wanting to vote for him. So they're coming down to this vice presidential debate, and you have Pence, who is sturdy, not sexist like our never Trumper friend, but you have Kamala Harris, who's just I'm speaking, I'm totally speaking, like talk to the hand.
I think it's the comparing and contrasting of Pence talking about how do you want to go back to the last 8 years of Obama or the last 4 years you've had under us. And I think it's the the contrast that he's showing and letting people know, hey, you had 8 years under an Obama Biden administration. Do you want to go back to that, or do you want to keep the last 4 years moving forward for another 8 years, or for a total of 8 years, possibly? So he's doing a great job of saying, hey, we've already had a possible Biden-Harris administration under the fact that most of their platform has just been derived from what we already had for the 8 years under Obama.
Yep, Dylan, your thoughts? Was anybody's minds changed by this debate?
No. When you have two septuagenarians running for the top of the ticket, health is always going to become an issue. For Biden, it's his 2 aneurysms he's had. For Trump, it's the fact that he's got COVID despite all the precautions. So we know that it's always, and of course, life expectancy being what it is, they have something like a 2 to 4% chance of dying this year, no matter what happens, just because of their age. So, who do you want to be the one to step into that role? We have the Kamala Harris, who has a record of keeping black people in jail, lying about knowing who rap artists are. I'm not sure.
Did he show up, by the way?
Did Tupac show up?
I don't know if Tupac showed up.
Because he had a ticket.
I know. That's what I want to know. Did he show up? That is my real. That was going to be my next question. So I decided to jump in there.
So Pence has a command of the facts. Has a stage presence, obviously, and she's just. And it didn't show up tonight, but the laughing, not just the smirking, but for her, it's the laughing, and it just reminds me of Joaquin Phoenix's The Joker, where she'll just start laughing at the most odd of times.
Yeah.
Everything is hilarious.
And it's not really a laugh, it's a cackle.
Yes. Yeah. It's like I was telling Manny. It's like that. It's
especially with I thought this would come up, the Stephen Colbert interview, where it's just a debate. Ha ha ha. That was just bizarre. And
very bizarre.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one who noticed that. It's like she was sticking her mouth too at the same time. It was like
gotta grab a power cable. Be right back.
I was like, what is she doing?
Yes.
You're running for vice president of the United States of America.
She's a flipper. I didn't read some of these comments. Manny, can you go back if you don't mind, Janice? This debate didn't move in the needle in either direction. You see, I sort of ordinarily I would agree with you that nobody cares about the vice presidential debate. I'm genuinely curious what the ratings are going to be, but I think it might have helped the drip happening in a Trump campaign because of Trump receiving coronavirus, which we haven't talked about. They really didn't discuss at all, or at least Pence didn't want to discuss the fact that the president has coronavirus right now. There was a statement by Susan Page that it looks like the event from not this last Saturday, Saturday before at the White House was a super spreader. I don't know. Nobody could define what a super spreader is. Do you think that's people in the room and people are like, this might have calmed the voters from abandoning ship? It's over. Like, I think it was over when
No, I don't think. No, honestly, look, the coronavirus, even though it's very, very important for people to be aware of it and be conscientious of, how they're going to carry themselves when they go in public, I just don't think that it was important in this debate. First of all, they started off with it. That's like, let's start it off with it so that people can forget we even mentioned it.
Right. That's
That's
fair.
how insignificant coronavirus was in this debate.
Well, it was the first topic last time, I think, wasn't it? Or was it Supreme Court last? Supreme Court last time, right?
Was the first.
That's right. Okay. Kat is an interesting question, and I'd like each of you all to answer this question. Does anyone think Kamala might be a sociopath? Every emotion besides hate and anger seems fake.
Yes.
That fake smile, that fake laugh.
So all of you all think she's
a
a
weird
sociopath?
kind of laugh. It kind of comes out. It kind of comes out the way he said, in the movie Joker, where he would just laugh out of nowhere, and that's funny. She's phony, man. I did really dislike that woman.
She is phony. I think she's an opportunist. I don't know if sociopath, but she's definitely an opportunist, and she will do whatever she needs to do to get ahead within her party.
Yeah.
But would we be saying this about a man as we're saying this about a woman? I'm just asking the question.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah, actually, like Joaquin Phoenix, we sure would.
Look at the Castro brothers.
I used to say it about Obama all the time.
Yeah, I would too. Actually, I thought he was an opportunist as well. So yeah, I would too. Either way, I mean, he did beat a woman.
I would have to commend Pence when Kamala was going on about why she was selected, about her record, and she would do this and she did that. Like, we all know that entire spiel was a lie. We know why she was selected. She's a black female. Period.
And half Asian.
And sorry.
And half Asian or Indian American, half Asian.
Whatever you want, whatever her race really is, the idea was she's black, she's a woman. That's why she was selected. And the only other women that met all those two criteria had even more baggage than she does.
Do you think that Susan Rice or Susan Rice was up for it? The Stacey Abrams, the crazy communist congresswoman from Florida, who's the head of the Congressional Black Caucus. Do you think any of those three women would have done better tonight than what Kamala Harris did?
Oh.
Well, I think maybe on the genuineness of themselves and their character and the leadership positions that they held, that's probably where their following would be from. I just don't see any genuineness in Kamala. I just, like Bruce said, she's taking advantage of an opportunity that was placed right in front of her, and she took it. And unfortunately, that's going to be part of her story.
Yeah, Claudia is saying, for me, the VP debate was not as important, but this year, seeing the Harris several times has said under the Harris administration makes me wonder if she will be the one running the country instead of Biden. So for me now, it's important to see the VP debate. Anybody else agree with the statement?
Sure, very true statement.
100%. Yep.
So you think it's not an accident? She keeps calling it the Harris administration.
No, not even a little. I think that was the plan.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes out, if she's puts it out, that means they've talked about it before.
The party owns her.
Yeah, they probably knew that the only person that would really win is Biden. So she probably wanted to run for president, and they probably told her no because she can't win. So they put up Biden, and then Biden selected her as VP. With the, she'll be the second person in command if something were to happen. And so that's probably the deal that they made to get her up there. And so she already has it in her mind. This is her administration. She's probably the one setting the rules and the standard and the policy and the plans of how things are going to go forward, which would be the other way around.
Claudia's saying, I wonder why she has never corrected that she is not an African American, yet she makes everything about race when possible.
No one has to stick for fortitude to make that case right to her face.
Right.
Or do you mean intestinal fortitude, as I was accused of not having yesterday by Little John. You never can afford you, Roman.
That's a good example of opportunity because she ran as an Indian American in her state race.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're right. Like that's how she won. It was all over the San Francisco Chronicle. I think it was them who had the first Indian American woman. Didn't even care that she was African American, half African American. Next comment. Sorry. I know there was another one.
Right up.
They're going to 25 Biden ASAP. Inside is alien health or COVID as the cause. Anybody disagree with that statement or want to add a lot?
That's part of the plan.
It'll happen quicker than we think if he would win. It would happen so fast. Did you see the video the other day? He's at the podium. He's done speaking, and and then his wife has to come and get him and pull him away. Have you seen that? That's scary.
He was maybe having a bad day that day.
He's having a lot of bad days.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm still so disappointed about last week. I'm still so disappointed in President Trump constantly not able to shut up, literally, and let the dementia-driven man quiet down. I missed the other comment, Manny. I'm sorry. She is throwing out there. Okay, next. You right on that, Marty. All right. Next one. She's not used to working a crowd to rile them up in a positive way because she's a prosecutor. She had it ingrained to work in an aggressive way. So you can't, what's the word? Take that back a little bit, a couple of notches. I think she could. I mean, Manny, you were a prosecutor at one point, weren't you, Dylan?
No, I was never a prosecutor, but she's not one to rile up a crowd. She's not one. I mean, for all of his faults, Obama, he was good at that, even though he said absolutely nothing. But he could read off that teleprompter.
He said it nicely, though.
He said it very nicely. He was a great orator. He could read right off that teleprompter like nobody's business. Now, if it broke down, he was a complete fool. But she doesn't have that. She doesn't have the tonality. She doesn't have the presence. She doesn't have the. She's very grating. After a few minutes, I can't even listen to her anymore. So
are we being biased? Don't like her because of her policies, or are you?
Well, obviously nobody liked her. She only got 2% of the support. And she ran out of money last year.
Yeah.
I mean, not even close to getting to Iowa. And the fact that she's on the ticket when even Buttigieg got at least one delegate. So I'm not sure what she brought to the table other than the fact that she's such an opportunist. She'll do whatever, say whatever, in order to achieve her goals.
I still believe.
She was willing to do certain things to get her first elected position. So no telling what she's willing to do now.
I feel that the reason she was selected because she checked a little extra box of the Asian American vote, which is critical in the state of Texas. People don't realize that the Asian American vote is moving quicker to the left, quicker to the Democratic Party than even the Hispanic vote is in Texas, and could potentially be helpful to the Biden administration. And it's not just there as well. The Asian Americans vote higher percentage-wise than Latinos or Hispanics and blacks. I don't know about blacks. I believe Hispanics for sure. And so this was a way to help that. I think that they realized over the summer that the Cuban American vote was going to help Trump with the Hispanic vote, and they needed something to bolster her up, and she was the best choice of all the African American women that he could have picked. Even
the Puerto Rican governor came out today and really helped out Trump, though.
Well, I was talking about this this morning. There's some polling done of Cuban Americans in Florida specifically, and it's showing that Trump getting 60% of the vote in the Cuban American population, and the biggest group within the Cuban Americans for Biden is the young people, and that's why essentially Trump is polling it with about 23 to 27, 28% of the Hispanic vote nationally. And if it wasn't for the Cuban American vote, he'd be in more trouble. Claudia is saying even Pelosi has even talked about being third to the presidency. That would be scary, though. Oh, she'll run the country if Biden wins. He's so submissive, and she'll assert her own will on him. Scary thought. I'm terrified by that, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Anybody else terrified or scary thought by the idea that Kamala Harris could be the president, the real president?
Man, that's not even funny.
That's some scary shit there.
I like your frankness. I mean, we had in 2000, we had people thinking that Dick Cheney was going to really run the country and Bush was not. Did that actually happen?
No.
Okay. Cool. Maria del Carmen is saying, yeah, his wife led him away.
That was about Joe.
You
Yeah,
have that video, Manny? I'd love to see that video because I haven't seen that video.
yeah, I'll look it up.
Zach is saying there's a level of charisma you need to work a crowd at a rally. It's not a matter of toning it down. It's a lack of skill set on stage due to the nature of her work. I can see that.
Well, Zach does have a point, because when I worked at a cop shop for a couple of years, I still say 10-4.
Peacock's got Harry Potter.
So I can understand where Zach is coming from. She's a prosecutor. She's got to be like a no-nonsense, serious person all the time. But yet, she's a politician. She should be able to transition back and forth or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I can see one, she does possess that strength. You know, she has this aura of strength and authority. But I mean, I don't know. She just.
Pat is saying, do we know who the next moderator will be? It's out there. It's Google it. I don't know who. I don't know right now who on top of my head is. I knew it was.
I don't remember the name, but he used to work for Biden.
Oh, Sully. Scully.
Back to him, huh?
Yeah.
His former intern.
Yeah, this is the video.
My hopes are high because I believe
pick up on it.
Americans have always stepped up. We have to step up and care for one another. Thank you all. Thank you all for listening.
There's nobody in the room. Oh, right.
That really, wow.
Yeah.
That really was uncomfortable.
She knew to do that, actually. It seems as though she knew.
Really Lady Macbeth.
Got to lead him back away off the stage because he wouldn't know what to do next.
Starting. I've lost about 20 pounds.
Yeah, that was
the psychology aspect of
that's scary.
I had not seen that. Wow, that is scary.
And he also had to be pulled away from some reporters yesterday by her because he was too close. And
can we get Connoisseurs or Ben Shapiro to moderate? And that's what what's his name? Senator Ted Cruz wanted. Offered
start a petition.
Somebody started. I don't know what that means, but okay. Paris is bad cop now and forever. Bad cop. RoboCop. It's almost like he got stuck without a command prompt. Robot don't know what to do.
If he had a command prompt, he would have read it.
He probably would. I'm Ron Burgundy. Anybody else? Guys,
I've never liked that comparison. He's not Ron Burgundy. Ron Burgundy reads it exactly like it was supposed to and exactly how it was written.
Right.
What we're really thinking about is Leslie Nielsen and Naked Gun 33 and the Third, where he was posing as Phil Donahue and was on stage with Raquel Welch, and he was reading for all the lines off the teleprompter for the best film, the award for the best movie of the year, and he was reading his lines and her lines and all the command prompts in between.
He really was reading the command prompt. Oh, who do we have here? Erasmo, hey. Where are you at?
Huh?
Where are you at? In Monterrey still?
No, I'm actually at Denny's.
Why are you at Denny's?
Why not? He needs his Grand Slam.
Brandon!
No way.
Brandon. See, they're having their date. Oh.
Jealous, Roman?
Yeah, no, I don't want to get corona from you.
Denny's.
Let me tell you, y'all did a great coverage today on the Vice Presidential Forum. That's the only thing I wanted to say. And great numbers yesterday, guys. And it was actually kind of interesting. I mean, it was interesting. I'll leave it at that. But
I want to talk to you about that afterwards, if that's possible.
want to say real quick, hey Claudia, how's it going? Want to say real quick, I really appreciate y'all's platform. It brings something different and something important to the city of Brownsville and to RGV, man. So I'm glad
Clayburgh County, because we're moving in Clayburgh.
I'm glad that I got Clayburgh right here in front of me. I'm glad that y'all are growing and your numbers are going up, and it's very indicative of how important what y'all do is for our community. So keep on doing what y'all doing, and an invitation tomorrow at 6:30 to come visit Frontera Progressives Forum, where I'll be facing my opponent one last time.
I wanna cover it, but I'll probably if it's live, we'll cover it for maybe about 30 minutes because we have a very important guest. Debbie D'Souza is going to be with us tomorrow.
Cool.
And we're going to be discussing. And I don't know if Josh is going to be able to handle doing two things at once because Manny will not be with us tomorrow. Josh will be filling in for Manny tomorrow and doing the Manning station, unfortunately.
Awesome. Well, guys, again, I'll let you go. Thank you so much. I want to say hi and great success, guys. Good, awesome.
God bless. Take care. Take care of Brandon.
I'll do my best.
Okay. All right. Bye. That was the great. Huh?
Were they in Clayburgh? I mean, in
no, Brownsville. Brownsville. He came down to Valley. He had to do something really important, and he came down. I don't.
Down. Okay.
Who did we lose? We lost. No neutral moderators. Why? I don't know. They could have had me. I would have been a neutral moderator. I think I would have been better. And again, you would have had people saying, Roman didn't answer the right questions. Roman didn't do it. You didn't ask him about the arrest. Sorry. Now I'm doing a different one. You see, I can do different voices. Dylan has no idea what I'm talking about. But it's okay.
Don't quit your day job.
No, it's okay. The problem we're having is yesterday we had a very important guest. Okay, Manny's gonna have to take off now because Manny's got to get ready to go bye-bye. Do you want to close it up, guys, or do you want to keep going?
Any final thoughts on anybody? On anything tonight?
No. Manny's got to run, and he handles the Manny station. What's up, Cruz?
I just want to say that he actually answered the climate questions fairly well. I was actually pretty proud of that.
Yeah. What was your happiest moment of the night? And we'll leave it at that. That was your happy moment?
Yeah. Actually, I was quite surprised. Unfortunately, I think Trump needs to be brought up to speed, more up to speed, so he can answer properly any of the climate alarmist questions that come up.
Yeah. Your happy thought of the night. Safe travel. Yeah. Happy thought of the night, Dylan. Happy thought. Think happy. Be positive.
Always.
Nothing?
I'm just glad that Pence really hung in there. He did what he had to do. I would like to really wish they had gotten really to the point on this whole climate nonsense. I've heard the estimates that if we shut down all CO2 production in this country, we could see something like a 0.2 degrees Celsius change 80 years from now. It's infuriating that we're having this conversation. And unless China does something and India does something, and none of this matters. And again, China is the biggest culprit, and Biden is certainly not the one to step up and take him on that issue.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why I agree with Cruz's answer in a way of a happy thought, because he kind of sort of took it to her and Biden. I'm just a little disappointed in our moderators constantly asking this question. It's like 35 or 40th on the list of important issues, but dang it, it has to be in the big topics of the hour and a half debate. What's your happy thought, Mari? Your happy thought.
Oh, happy thought.
People like me.
No happy thought. I mean, I was there at the GOP headquarters. There was they were doing a flag wave, and this guy got beat up by a reporter.
Was it there at headquarters?
Yeah, across
I saw the video. Yeah.
When did this happen?
It was so scary.
When did this happen?
At like 7:30 today.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was a guy because I literally saw like a little shuffle, but I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
So somebody was triggered to violence?
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, if you have that video, can you send it to Manny? Do you mind we play this? Oh, no. If it's violent, no, never mind. Don't play it because we're going to get banned or censored by Facebook.
No, it's not.
No, somebody got dragged around. That's pretty much it. That was the extent.
Yeah, they'll still find a way to say that's violent.
Yeah.
They'll find a way. And then you get censored. All right, guys. Who left? Josh did. All right. What's your happy thought? So what's your happy thought, Manny, as you leave to wherever you're going?
My happy thought, again, is this right here.
You're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. I like that. I really do.
Yeah.
My happy thought was probably when Pence was able to show that Kamala and Biden are going to increase taxes. I have no doubt that the fact checkers are going to say, no, she never said that. But she did. It was a good show. I drank too much due to the debate. And after going to bed 3 a.m. this morning, thanks to Real Talk. I'm sorry. I need to get some rest. Me too. That's why we're going to close up early. But everybody say goodbye to Manny because Manny's going to be leaving us. And tomorrow, Josh is going to have really, really good internet service for us as we have an important interview with Debbie D'Souza, the wife of Dinesh D'Souza. But she hates me.
Wait.
Tomorrow.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper. Yes, toilet paper. That was probably that was your happy thought? Was toilet paper?
I was like, thank God I didn't have to rush to the store for it.
Apparently there were food lines and toilet paper. Do you remember all that? The toilet paper. Toilet paper was somehow Trump's fault. We did not have enough toilet paper, and it's that guy in the White House's fault. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll have Debbie D'Souza on. On Friday, we're going to have Ladies Night. We're not going to do our normal 7:30 show on Friday. We will instead be doing a ladies' night around 11:30, and it'll be fun because Manny's picking all the ladies for our ladies' night show. And Saturday, are we going to have Dr. Guerra after all on Saturday, Manny?
I haven't heard back from him at all.
Really? Mari and Cruz, do you mind helping us get this settled? Because it was our understanding that Dr. Guerra was going to be with us this weekend. I don't know why Joaquin hasn't gotten back to us yet, but Manny we were pretty sure we had him on for Saturday, but we want to make sure we get it, in writing. So either one of you know Dr. Guerra and his campaign. Can you please make sure that he's with us on Saturday? Thanks, Kat. Gentlemen, I will continue.
Good night, Kat.
God bless you. And please like and subscribe our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please turn on live notifications for our live stream videos. God bless. This is Real Talk. Real Politics Live. We don't do the news. We don't make the news. We just help you see it. God bless. Good night, Sharky. Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.